Good morning.
Good morning to everyone, especially Creighton men's basketball last night. They covered, most importantly. They blew out Butler, pulled away in the second half, and won for the first time in a month. Also, a good morning if you have that mom in your life that likes to spoil maybe a big announcement, like they spill the beans on an engagement or that they have a daughter or a daughter-in-law that's pregnant. You
Yeah.
know, you'll
Yeah.
get some parents that
Yeah,
get a
they get
little tricky.
excited.
They go to Facebook where, our parents live these days, and they may spill the beans on something that you want to have as your announcement. Ben Scott gonna have to have some speaks with his mom.
How about that? Who was there was a 5-star that flipped yesterday. Why am I totally blanking? What wasn't Nebraska? Nebraska was in the running. I'm like, ooh, how about that? Oh, it's a guy he was committed to Oregon. Now he's going to
Oklahoma.
Yes, thank you. I'm like, wow, that's interesting. And then here we go. Oh, Ben Scott. Hey, buddy.
Yeah, his mom, who is from Columbus, he is the portal guy from Arizona State, who has been a multi-year starter at Arizona State at center and tackle, and took a visit. Dominic Raiola said, "Hey, let's go to Lincoln." They have a connection to their days in Hawaii. And so Ben Scott was here a couple of weeks ago, and then he kind of went radio silent, and Auburn thought he had him. But it appears that he is going to announce today that he's going to Nebraska. Now, his mom jumped the gun and tweeted out a Facebook. She went on Facebook and said her son is committed to Nebraska. Now, the young man has said, I will officially announce it sometime today. But I would think that looks pretty good for Nebraska. I don't think mom, who is from Nebraska, would throw anybody off on the wrong trail, even though it appeared that he was like solid for Auburn. And I don't know many crystal balls that were projected towards Nebraska, but come on, mom. I mean, the kid wants to have his moment, and you spoil his moment, and then he's got to say, yeah, I'll officially announce it on Friday.
It's like, announce what? We already know. I mean, yeah, okay, have your moment. Have you ever had that in your life? Where,
I don't follow my parents on social media, Nick.
Well, no, but
they're all over Facebook. I have no idea.
Have you ever been called by a friend like, "Hey, congrats on something"? You're like, "What? On
no,
what?" And then you're like, "Well, your mom just told us, or your mom just posted something." You're like, "What the hell, mom?"
No.
I once found out my dad was engaged on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah. Called my wife downstairs. I was like,
"That would be awkward."
That was awkward. I was like, "Were you planning on telling?" His defense was, "Well, it was on Facebook." Like,
no, there's a chain of command there where big announcements, you let the family know, and if you don't want it to be made public, even though you have people in your life that their response is, "Who am I going to tell? Who am I going to tell?" But you have to say it. And what Ben Scott is going through right now is exactly why you have to say that to mom or anybody else of like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do, but don't tell anybody. Because she might even say, well, who am I going to tell? And then she goes off. And
maybe she was oblivious to the fact that people around here have a lot of attention in her son, and they might have been scanning Facebook or have alerts, and she puts it out there, and the next thing you know, he maybe have committed to Nebraska, but he would like to announce it on his own. Back to your little scenario there, Jimmy, because I think my mom has Facebook. My dad in his new life with his new wife, like he's an entirely different person.
Okay.
He's like hanging out there in Florida. So he may be on social media. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me like if I was scanning TikTok one day and my dad is on TikTok and I'm like, whoa.
He's not on Snapchat.
Whoa.
Though.
He is not on Snapchat.
Okay.
But I know my mom follows me on Twitter because twice I have. So I think she probably was on Twitter and then got locked out and then just decided to make another account.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
she violates.
And the only reason I knew that because she used her old nursing school picture.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. But then I see you're not tweeting anything. Are you just monitoring your son?
Yeah.
You know what? You can text me. You can call me. But back to your dilemma, Jimmy. So
on the Lost Hills Harley Davidson,
find out that your dad is engaged on Facebook.
Yeah.
Was he afraid to tell you? Do you like her?
Yeah. Do you not approve?
Oh, they never got married.
Oh,
yeah.
So did they announce like a disengagement on Facebook?
No, that seemed to just go
Did the
like by the
relationship go to
wayside.
it's complicated? It went from engaged
Did it come
to
to
complicated.
did it go to a series of pokes?
Does anybody still poke anybody?
I don't know if you still can
Okay,
poke.
let me rephrase that. On Facebook.
I mean, it
Sorry.
is the first hour, so I mean, again, it either goes.
On Facebook.
I don't even know if it's a feature anymore. Yeah, so
Is the status relationship still a thing?
I don't think so.
Because I used to find coworkers, not at this job, because I think people are smarter here, maybe, of staying logged into stuff. But where I used to work, we would have a lot of young people, when Facebook was for younger people, would stay logged in. And so I would change their relationship status.
Yeah.
And then more than likely, shortly after, they would get a phone call from like a mom or a dad.
Right. What did you change it to? Did you change to engaged or married?
Married secretly.
Oh, wow. See, I thought maybe you would just put like in a relationship.
No, because I had a collection of 20-year-olds that were just out of college that I'm sure they were in whatever you described as relationships back then. They were in plenty of them because I heard about them.
Engaged.
My only goal
a lot of poking.
My only goal was stay away from the players. If I'm hearing about it from a manager, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
But if you do, I just don't want to ever hear about
no
it.
fraternizing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they got disengaged.
Yeah.
Did you ever confront him?
Well, it happened right before we went home. So this was about 2 or 3 weeks before we went home for my grandparents' anniversary. And so, yeah, that got brought up. And then we went through a painfully awkward dinner with said woman. The food was fantastic, though. I mean, it's San Antonio. You're going to probably find some good food. But
okay. Never mind.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah.
She didn't cook.
No.
Okay. I thought, she cooked there.
Fine restaurant cooked and did well. But
okay.
To this day, we still joke about it. I guess it was almost, 7-8 years ago. And it was one of the most painful dinners. I mean, I've had root canals that were less painful than that meal. And
Would you have been accepting of her?
I wasn't a fan.
Yeah? Why?
I just thought she was thought she sucked. I don't know about literally. I didn't want to know about that.
Well,
but
yeah.
Hello.
You better ask old man about that one.
Come on.
What?
Really? Really?
Again, first hour safe space.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm as a mean person. What are you guys talking about? Jesus. Guys, it is the day before.
You can't say that
Jesus'
word. You
birthday.
can't say that and then say, well, I don't know if she did or not.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, yeah.
So that's some harsh words.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's terrible. Yeah. Well, the thing is, we then talked to my grandma because she was the one that could dish out the gossip, but also to spill the tea, if you will. And yeah, she didn't sign off on any of it. So when it all fell apart, she was like, I called it. It's a wise woman. But yeah, Facebook. I think right now he's on my mute list because he posts too damn much, which kind of goes back to what,
he's an
what you were
he's an
saying.
overposter.
He's an overposter.
Do we need to go on the couch here? I mean, you're letting some
can
things
talk
out
about
about
this.
your dad.
No, I love Dad.
right.
Dad's great. I mean, when we talk on the phone, it's great. I mean, especially this time of the year. I mean, it's bowl game time and all that stuff. But when it comes to the Facebook, like many of the people of his generation, it's just too much.
How would you feel? Okay, in the JTech, construction zone Twitter feed, Fremont Fred says he found out his aunt died after his mom posted it on Facebook.
That's
like,
commonplace.
To find out, like, I mean, it's extended family, but that's pretty close. I mean, you've got immediate, then you've got extension, but I feel like there's kind of an in between, like maybe a purgatory of before you get to quote extended family. I feel like the aunt is kind of in that gray area. I'd want to know that from mom or dad,
especially if you're close to him.
Right? Yeah, I guess you never know what the relationship is, but I would want to know that. There are people outside my immediate family that if, something bad happened or something really good happened, I'd want to know that before I would feel that's worth a text or phone call.
Yeah. The Facebook is just
not putting it out there to the mass.
No.
So, Mrs. Scott, you may have stolen the thunder from your son.
Yeah. I would be curious what Ben's reaction was. Is that what the hell, Mom? Or was
his phone probably started blowing up from all the recruiting websites.
Yeah.
I think one I read last night was he was very, very nice, but he said I will be announcing it officially today.
It was I can't confirm or deny. Don't worry, I'll have an announcement today. You'll know what's going on.
I mean, do you
maybe
change
that's typical
the
mom
school
though.
Now?
I don't know. Should we see mom's history? She jumps the gun on a lot of things.
Well, maybe she's just so excited, and he's like, gosh, mom at it again. Like, I love you, mom, but just let me have that moment as opposed to mom. I feel like it's probably the former. I feel like it's probably
funny memes.
Mom's just so excited. She's just excited.
I mean, I think we might have to do some search history. Maybe she's done it to like her daughter. Maybe her daughter was pregnant with their first grandchild and hadn't told anybody else, including like her husband, and mom posted on Facebook, hey, Jenny is pregnant. I mean, some people may be that. They may be premature posters.
Oh, there's definitely those people.
And there is a cure for that, is to take their phone away or their computer away or their access to Facebook.
Put it on their hands, see what happens.
Here's a book.
So that is encouraging news on the last Friday of the show that Ben Scott, the offensive lineman, could be a transfer from Arizona State. Now he'll announce whatever he's doing today, but it looked like he was headed to Auburn. So we'll discuss the ramifications of that possibly happening. It is also a not so good morning to Zach Wilson.
Yeah,
at least Zach Wilson has money and moms.
Yeah,
because I don't know.
I like the theme of this.
I don't think he has much of an NFL career at the age of 22. And a lot of the stuff that happens in the NFL when it comes to quarterbacks is your whole future is predicated on who drafts you. If you get drafted into a bad situation, good luck. And Zach Wilson got drafted to the Jets, and last night he got benched, and he had another poor game, and he got booed, and he may become the Josh Rosen of the New York Jets, and his NFL career may be done after his performance again, which in his career, and in the quarterback quandary that has become the New York Jets, it's the fourth time in his career in a game that he has completed less than 10 passes and thrown for under 100 yards. And I don't know if he can survive in New York City. I don't think he can survive after last night, because that was brutal. The fans were brutal. And he got into a bad situation. And there's a lot of people that were saying at the time, don't draft him, don't draft him, don't draft him. Jets need a quarterback. They drafted him. And now they're going to have to move on and find their next Will Levis in the draft next year. But I think Zach Wilson at 22 is done. Definitely in New York. But, man, is his career in the NFL over as a starting quarterback?
Can we at least for a moment, though, give props Chris Streveler, South Dakota? Pride of Naperville, Illinois, getting a shot. There was a moment, hey, cool. But no, this is not a good situation for the Jets. But going back to this year, and really what has been a little more than a month after, showing no regrets, taking no responsibility for poor play, that gets blown up. He gets benched. He comes back. Seems like, okay, he's sort of had his, moment of clarity with being a professional compared to being a very talented college quarterback, which, hey, happens all the time. It's how you receive message, how you receive adversity, and it's different types of adversity. You got to be professional about it. But it sounded like, okay, everything that you had heard was he addressed the team. There's no issues there. And he's taking the responsibility. There was something Booger McFarland brought up about, sort of entitlement with him. And I don't know him well enough, but then you sort of revert back to some bad habits again. And I think it's a fair question to ask. Can he be someone you can rely on week in and week out? Because it is very early in his career. This is a different world than what he experienced at BYU. But when you come with the draft slot that you were in, when you come with all of that, the responsibilities that go with it, you know what you're getting yourself into. And then to add on the New York market on top of that, there are expectations, there are ways you have to go about it. And I think a lot of those, unfortunately for Zach right now, are impacting his play. I mean, is he a talented kid? Yeah, I'm sure that's still somewhere in him, but it's not there right now. And
he's not ready. He's not ready for the NFL.
And I don't think he's willing to make the adjustments.
That's on the Jets.
But I think part of it's on Zach too, because I don't know if he is. Maybe this is unfair because again, it's a very small moment in a very young career, but he doesn't seem to be willing. It's almost like, no, it's just going to happen. I'll be fine. is he doing everything he has to do to be the better quarterback, to be the NFL talent as he was the college talent? I don't know.
A lot of people said don't even draft him. And again, you are in the NFL, and a sport that is a behemoth and we love it, has such a propensity to have poor quarterback evaluation, like the proper evaluation of quarterbacks. And a quarterback in that league is the complete difference. Look at the Jets feel comfortable enough with their defense. Now, last night they weren't as good as they've been. But if your quarterback isn't scoring and making plays, look what it does to the locker room. When you are a young quarterback coming out and you make, and it's a huge jump from college to the NFL is an enormous jump. You've got to be drafted into the right situation.
Yeah.
I love what the Chiefs did. I got my franchise quarterback with Patrick Mahomes. But what if Patrick Mahomes was drafted by the Bears?
Yeah,
Would Patrick Mahomes be like he is today? So you get drafted into the whole situation.
Right.
You get drafted into a good or bad situation, and that dictates your whole path in the NFL. Baker Mayfield drafted by the Browns, and all the dysfunction of the Browns of systems and GMs and whatever. If he's drafted by a different team, is Baker Mayfield different these days? I mean, that's what you have to ask about Zach Wilson. But then there's the question that hits you in the face. What if Zach Wilson is just not an NFL quarterback, and he's not ready to play in the NFL because his completion percentage, you figure year one is a learning curve, but when you take a major step back in year two, at least Trevor Lawrence, who he was going against last night, Trevor Lawrence last year struggled because he had a bad coach. Coaching matters. Doug Peterson is going to get Jacksonville into the playoffs. I mean, that Week 18 game against Tennessee now is huge, and who would ever thought it for a franchise that 11 of the last 12 years they've had a losing season. Yeah. But you finally got the right coach with the right quarterback.
Perfect coach for him.
Trevor Lawrence, he has turned the corner in year number 2. Is he ever going to live up to the expectations of what a number 1 overall guy should be?
Yeah,
maybe not. But he's at least a guy that you can count on, that is going to make plays for you, where last year everybody's going like, wow, is he a bust? No, he had a bad situation. His situation in Jacksonville got better, but I think
they'll turn into a long career
I think
for
Zach
him.
Wilson at 22 is done.
Yeah,
I think he's done. Definitely in New York. You can't go back from last night.
Yeah, in New York, and I think
you got replaced by a guy who has the name of a shortstop.
He's because
the next Richard Todd, the next Ken O'Brien.
Well, look at the Jets quarterbacks. Okay, they all the Jets fans out there. Shout out Mike Sauter. They've gone through the run of quarterbacks that they've disliked. Mark Sanchez, even though Mark Sanchez got them on the cusp of going to the Super Bowl.
They were good.
Okay. But then Mark Sanchez fell out of favor.
There was a butt fumble.
Exactly.
Then
the butt fumble.
I mean, you look at Geno Smith. Okay. Remember how he got run out of New York? Even Sam Darnold, who got run out of New York, didn't receive the same kind of scrutiny and the fandom going on just irate towards you like Zach Wilson has got.
Yeah.
And in that market, that can't happen. That's why I think last night was the last time that he'll start as a quarterback of the Jets. His head coach can say whatever he wants to try and keep the kid, his shoulders up and all that. But he's in a bad situation, and he's not ready to play in the NFL, and you got to move on. And it was sad to see last night because you are seeing it in real time, a complete breakdown of a quarterback who was drafted 2nd overall.
Yeah. You mentioned the Mahomes thing, and I'm glad you did, because as a Bears fan, thing I hate more than anything, that's the quarterback we could have had. I'm not convinced he'd be that quarterback in Chicago's system.
Yeah.
He would have been John Fox, and Dow Loggins was the OC at the time. I am not convinced that Patrick Mahomes would have had the development in that first year, the ability to learn under Mike Glennon to become the Patrick Mahomes that we know him to be in Kansas City. So it's a very important distinction when people think about, well, you could have had him. Would we have gotten him?
Well,
you're seeing right
like
now.
Tua last year in Miami. He got drafted into a bad situation.
Yeah.
Brian Flores isn't known for developing quarterbacks and defensive guy. Now, all
he'd have
of a
been
sudden,
out of the league.
Mike McDaniel gets handed to him, and look at Tua. Tua looks completely different than he did last year.
Yeah.
I mean, Josh Allen got drafted into the most ideal situation that he could have. He went to a place where you have Brian Dable calling plays, and
Mhm.
you have a really good head coach who is going to say, you don't need to be the end-all, be-all at quarterback. We're going to build around you. Now, Josh Allen was allowed to develop. It's all about, in this league, being brought into the right situation. Right. Zach Wilson was brought into a bad situation, but is he going to be the Josh Rosen? He's the next Josh Rosen after last night's performance? Because that was brutal. That was absolutely brutal.
The weather matched everything to it. It was just.
I mean, when people are clamoring for Mike White over you, or asking why Joe Flacco is even dressed at the age of 37 on the sidelines.
Can we suit up Joe Flacco, please?
Yeah, he was dressed last night. I don't know why he was dressed if he wasn't going to play.
Just put on the uniform a couple more times before we hang it up.
That was the big moment last week when Zach Wilson, hey, he got elevated to backup. Joe Flacco's going to sit. Then White. Okay. Zach, it's your turn again. What'd you learn?
And the Jets aren't even my team. I mean, I sound about as angry as Al Michaels. Who
Al's had some problems on Thursdays.
Hey, Al is calling games like a fan. Like if the games are bad, they're bad.
Yeah.
Al's just collecting a paycheck.
That's why I don't feel bad for him when he's like, here we go again. I'm like, come on, Al.
Feel bad. He's making 8 figures.
Exactly.
Enjoy yourself. Collect that paycheck on and be upset that Thursday Night Football has turned into just some. At least he gets called a playoff game.
Gets a playoff game. He gets his weekends now open
Watch
to
it be a 13-6
I know what
game.
he left NBC for. Come on. Like there was a lot of bitching and moaning going on those first 5 weeks. And I'm like, come on.
That Colts-Broncos game might have broken.
It was bad. And Bears Commandos was not good either.
Well, he sounds sad. And then he sounds
Do you think
angry.
he misses
sounds
Chris?
grumpy?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think so.
No.
You don't?
I just think he misses that stage at NBC.
Yeah, because it was
Sunday night game.
Such a huge. It was always a huge game,
and he wanted to stay.
And
you
could
said
flex.
it in the post.
And then you could flex later in the year.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to watch Chris Streveler.
He might get Tennessee, Jacksonville, week 18.
I'm sorry, you wouldn't have to watch Zach Wilson.
I'm all aboard.
They do have a good game next week. They have Dallas and Tennessee, so he probably will not be as sad as he sounds when he has bad games.
Yeah. So, by the way, Dallas must win, given the quarterback situation.
This week?
Yeah. I mean, I know to win the division. That's probably still not going to happen, but...
Oh, no, the Eagles... so the Eagles have already clinched.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, at home.
Gardner Minshew starting this week for the Eagles.
Yeah. Got to win that one, don't you?
He's not a... Gardner Minshew has played some football in this league before. But
he'll be playing inspired,
But
too.
if you're playing at home against the Eagles and that line is flipped like it has...
You got to win.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's if you lose...
you got to
Gardner Minshew.
You got to get momentum if you're the Cowboys going into your road game in the playoffs at Tampa.
You got to set it up for your epic collapse in the playoffs.
Oh, the South.
All right. Let me give you the lineup for the show. It is so it's the final show of the year for us. The entire radio station will be off next week. We'll be back on January 3rd. But it is kind of a Football Friday fiesta, as it is still bitterly cold outside. The wind chill, I feel obligated in Omaha, Nebraska on a sports talk show to tell you that it's 33 below.
It's warmed up from yesterday. It was like 40-something yesterday.
I thought it was cold this morning compared to yesterday.
I did too.
It hurt.
It's wreaking havoc on my house.
The Hoth. Brett Ciancia will join us coming up in an hour from Pick Six Previews. He will have a thought or two on the semifinals and also why there are no afternoon bowl games this week. By the way, I had a tip. I gave you guys a tip last week when you're doing your confidence pools or you were betting on bowl games. I have a fail-proof system when it comes to bowl games with certain teams, and it paid off for me last night. I hope it did for all of you.
Of the Baylor game?
Service academies.
Oh, yeah.
Service academies in bowl games. How many guys are opting out?
Yeah, that's true. They're not.
That was easy money last night.
They're not.
The Air Force roster does not have numerous opt-outs or guys that are leaving to get ready for the pros.
You want continuity and bowl prep? There you go.
Yeah.
Service academy.
Baylor wanted no part of that game.
Well, who would have thought that that's the coldest bowl game ever?
Yeah.
Was in Dallas last night in Air Force and Baylor.
Mm-hmm.
I was just thankful that it ended up being the bowl game KU got sent to because we would have been there.
Ooh.
Yeah. Instead, it's going to be tropical in Memphis, 55 degrees.
That's a better bowl game there.
Which one?
In Memphis.
Oh, yeah. A lot of history, good cause.
Wasn't
at least Baylor had a quick bus trip home after freezing.
Yeah.
Shreveport was a little chilly. Independence Bowl, 2002. 2. It was
it was
very dank.
The day of the game wasn't bad, but the whole week was really cold.
It was funky.
Brett will join us at 7:30. Mike Schaefer stops by at 9. We'll get his thoughts on the class that has been put together. Then has still got a couple additions, including possibly Arizona State portaler. Could play center at Nebraska, more than likely. Ben Scott, who mom said he's coming. He hasn't said yet. He'll do it sometime today.
He'll do it on Instagram.
So maybe Nebraska's coaches did it, and then mom did it, and son wants it to be his moment.
How dare he? How dare he?
Plus, Matt Verzal will stop by at 9:20. That's the lineup to lead you into the holidays. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. However you're celebrating, Happy New Year. All of that. You can finish up your year with us on also, you know what today is? What is today? The 23rd of December.
The day before Christmas Eve.
You're out of the circle of trust.
Oh, I feel like I should have this. What is the deal?
We just do it once a year. What is the
Festivus?
Thank you.
Oh my God. Is that the 23rd?
Happy Festivus.
Turn his mic off. That's you failed on the show. I don't know, whatever questionnaire you filled out for this job, you have to know about Seinfeld.
Bring me any Seinfeld question right now.
No, you failed like the biggest one.
I forgot it was the 23rd. I'm sorry.
What, do you think it was like the 25th?
No, I knew it was before Christmas. I didn't. Yeah.
Festivus for
crazy.
Yeah, okay, that's a fail on my part. But I get anything about that episode laid on me.
Like Festivus is like the biggest deal.
I can tell you about the bagel place. No bagel, no bagel, no bagel. H&H bagel.
No. You're out now. I'm very disappointed.
Now I'm trying too hard. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just take my fail safe.
It is Festivus. So whoever celebrates out there, your airing of grievances.
This is the place.
Yeah.
Call in.
Yeah, maybe not.
We can use more best of content.
Jimmy, this is the day that you screen calls. Do we just kid because we care? Off and running. There is Nick. He'll be in minute timeout when we come back.
Yeah, it's true.
That's what we should hand out. You're a big hockey guy. We should hand out penalties.
Yeah. I'll sit in the box on that one.
Like callers get 2 minutes in the sin bin.
Yeah, that's unsportsmanlike there.
For calls that go nowhere.
Yeah.
Could be the new thing.
You can come back. I will go 2-minute timeout. I'll go 2-minute timeout. That's fine.
Well, the play is now under review.
Yeah.
We'll get the organ.
We'll see if we make it from a minor to a major.
A game misconduct? Do I go home?
That is the lineup brought to you by the Rooferys at John Higgins Weather Guard. It's mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone.
Gary Sharp, Nick Handley, and Jimmy Chavez. Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Weekdays 6 to 10 on 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com. Mornings on 1620 The Zone is brought to you by MD West One Orthopedics, Neurosurgery, and Spine. Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
Basically what a runza is. It's a breadstick with meat and cabbage. It's a breadstick with meat and cabbage on the inside.
No, it is not a breadstick.
Yes, it is. It's a bread pocket, Nick. Breadsticks are so, it's a stick of bread.
It's not a
meat
stick
jammed in.
So
definitely not a stick.
So when you go to the store to buy Wonder Bread, you get a stick of bread?
No, that's a loaf.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from a Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Dangerously cold Friday with a high today near 2 degrees, but at the warmest, feeling like -21. A wind chill warning remains in effect throughout the day Friday with northwesterly winds up to 40 miles an hour. Otherwise, mostly to partly cloudy today, becoming partly cloudy to mostly clear tonight. Extremely cold, feeling like 27 below zero. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV News Watch 7.
This time saving traffic was brought to you by Omaha's Children's Museum.
This holiday season, give the gift of play at Omaha Children's Museum. Now through the end of the year, save $25 when you get the gift of membership with the Omaha Children's Museum. Visit ocm.org for more information.
Hey everybody, it's Michael Savit for Ted and Wally's. We want to wish you a happy holidays. You know, December can be tough sometimes because you got to buy presents. You don't always get the size right. You don't always get the color right. You know what the perfect gift is? It's ice cream. You know why? Because the size is never going to be wrong. The color's not going to be wrong because it's ice cream. Everybody loves ice cream, and you'll love it as well. Whether it is a gift card or actually giving a pint or a half a gallon, either way, it makes a perfect stocking stuffer. And you can order to go. Pint, quart, half gallons. It's a great treat over the holiday or for a holiday party as well. Over 3,000 flavors to choose from, and it's a different flavor every day. All you have to do is go on your social media accounts, whether it's Facebook or Twitter, and they will post the daily flavors, and they are amazing. And it's every kind of ice cream you could possibly imagine. It's over 35 years of nostalgia, and it's done the old-fashioned way. Made in 100-year-old Ice Mountain freezers. It's Ted and Wally's. Get some for a gift today.
Duck Defense Midwest makes your home healthier and improves the life of your HVAC system. So improve the health of your home and everyone in it. Go to cleanairradio.com for a special duct cleaning offer for Zone listeners. That's cleanairradio.com.
Thank you to everyone who voted for MD West One in the Best of Omaha contest. We are thrilled to announce MD West One has been named the #1 private medical practice in Omaha for 4 years in a row. MD West One is also named first place in the orthopedic surgery and neurosurgical spine surgery. Our 34 board certified surgeons specialize in treating every bone, joint, or muscle condition from head to toe. Go to mdwest1.com to meet the #1 place to go for orthopedic, neurosurgery, and spine.
Buy your next vehicle your way from anywhere with Woodhouse. Start your journey online at woodhouse.com. Easily shop all new and pre-owned inventory. Explore payment options and apply for financing. Ready to purchase? Schedule your new vehicle for pickup from the dealership or have it delivered to your driveway. Need a little extra help in determining your perfect vehicle? Our knowledgeable and local dealerships can guide you to the vehicle that best matches your needs. Experience car buying your way with Woodhouse, a trusted auto partner since 1975.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Especially during the holidays, our time is precious. So when you make an appointment for service, you want things to run on time. For over 50 years, McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air has valued their customers' time with their on-time guarantee. Their technicians are licensed, properly trained, and drug tested, and have over 100 years combined HVAC service experience. See more at McCarthy's1hour.com. For heating and AC service, repair, and installation, trust the folks who are always on time, or you don't pay a dime. McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning. McCarthy's1hour.com.
News Talk 1290 is the new home for Omaha Maverick women's basketball all season long. Don't miss any of the Maverick action as they try to make their mark on the Summit League this season. Omaha Mavericks women's basketball is on News Talk 1290.
And we're back. Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Here's Gary, Nick, and Jimmy on 1620 The Zone.
It is really, if you think about it, in the history of Christmas music, I think it's a big shocker that the Beach Boys put out a Christmas album. I mean, I wouldn't have thought that they would go there.
I always thought that too. When the first radio job I had, they would play this often, and just kind of sticks with you. You're just like, okay.
This will be a song that people will have in their head all day, and they will just all day long.
We'll try to see if we can fix that as we go on. There's a reason why I'm playing it at 6:40 instead of 9:40.
Less than an hour away, Brett Cianci from Pick Six Previews will join us. Remember, Army, Navy, Air Force money 4-1 straight up in the last 5 bowl games. Air Force blew out Baylor last night 30-15 in some innocuous bowl game played in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, the coldest bowl game ever. If you had that as your pick of locale for the coldest bowl game ever, congratulations, you are a big winner. What happened to Dave Aranda? Dave Aranda's stock drop a little bit?
I feel like it has.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those just joined us, by the way, Nixon timeout.
Wow, I'm glad you're playing the part there.
I mean, it was warranted. Hey, I'm just glad it snapped that it's the 23rd. I honestly thought it was the 22nd for a second. I'd have missed it too.
I just know it's Friday and we're out. And hopefully the weather's going to warm up, which it is going to around here.
Yeah. 40s next week, it looks like. So maybe there'll be a golf course open somewhere. But yeah, Dave Aranda, I mean, they finished the year 6-7, losers of 4 straight.
You struggling over there? Yeah.
Oh.
I think, whoa, you almost like came out of they almost opened the gate too early for you. No, I mean, look at Dave Aranda at the beginning of this coaching search in September. Everybody wanted Dave Aranda.
All right, full strength.
And
get back.
What do they say? No, you're supposed to say, how do you properly say it?
Who's the sponsor this year? Ortho Nebraska. Get you back in the game. Mavericks at full strength.
That's a good line. I like that. Good promotion by Ortho Nebraska.
Yeah.
But Dave Aranda, I think it's fair to say, okay, what happened this year with Baylor?
They never recovered after K-State went down there and just beat the crap out of them. It was 31-3. It wasn't that close. They finished losers of 4 straight after starting 6-3. I mean, they didn't look as dominant as they had been, but they looked pretty good enough that a lot of people wanted them here.
No,
and
I
understandably
did.
so.
Well, that's the first thought.
And he was never in the mix here.
Yeah. There was the one, and I can't even remember who the Baylor site was. I thought it was like a recruiting site, or maybe it was just a fan site. And they were hearing from people within Nebraska circles that Dave Aranda was indeed going to be the next coach of Nebraska. And again, that was during everybody was going to be the next coach of Nebraska. For me, the Dave Aranda thing was appealing for 2 reasons. One, it seemed like that was the direct line to retain Mickey on staff for a guy who would legitimately want to work with, not saying other coaches wouldn't want to work with Mickey, but at the time, Mickey's stock, keeping the recruiting momentum going, and Dave Aranda having that connection there, but also the Big Ten experience, because for me, that was a big deal. Having that Big Ten experience, being a defensive coordinator in the Big Ten, understanding how to beat Wisconsin, knowing you were with the enemy at one point. Like, there was a lot of things from the Dave Aranda profile that I gravitated to a lot. We did like the power rankings. All of us kind of entertained some version of that. He was always consistently in my top 5.
Yeah, there's a lot to like about him. It's just their season went south.
It did. Totally.
I remember getting all excited watching them play in Ames. And I'm like, okay, I could see this happening. And Baylor season ends with a 30-15 loss to Air Force last night. Creighton's basketball season may have begun last night. Speaking of Creighton, old man Doug says you're now on double secret probation. He's still trying to figure you out from Equitable Bank, like the whole Creighton thing.
Oh, yeah.
So last night,
I thought I answered all the questions.
Creighton got a needed win. Was it a get-right win? Way too early. But for about 30-plus minutes, they look like the good Creighton this year, and a big reason number 11 was back, and he makes such a difference. I mean, he's the defensive player of the year in the preseason in the Big East, and you know what kind of a presence that he has. But just his presence changes that basketball team. I mean, take out what he does on both ends of the floor, influencing offense, defense, but you could see, like, having him back, guys were more confident. They actually were more aggressive. I think also one thing I noticed right away last night, and it didn't look so good. You're behind 16-7, and all of a sudden Butler is shooting lights out. But Thad Matta's got a Butler issue. They can't play a full 40 minutes of basketball. But you're thinking, all right, slow start, sleepy crowd. Uh-oh. And then Creighton all of a sudden looked like the team that pieces this year that have looked enticing. Their pace was better. I thought they were more aggressive. Trey Alexander's in a slump right now, but he was more aggressive last night. And they also were cutting to the basket. Hello, where has that been? I mean, that's not just a Kalkbrenner is back.
Right.
Something has turned from Marquette to last night to guys. We just went through a stretch where nobody's cutting to the basket, and they were cutting more. They passed the ball. They were very unselfish last night. But having Kalkbrenner on the floor, you could tell that it amps up the confidence of guys around him. They know that if they make a mistake on the defensive end, there's going to be a guy to protect at the glass. You got an option to get into the paint. Creighton dominated points in the paint last night. They haven't done that much of late. And they also kept Butler out of the paint. Now, that's not Butler's go-to, but there were a lot of things that Creighton did in 30-plus minutes last night that you went, okay, that's what they have done when they got to 6 wins. I don't say it's a get-right win. It's a needed win, and it's a feel-good, and you have to win the next 2. And then we can talk, but then I'll say, well, look at that stretch of 4. So I'm about probably 5 or 6 games away from going, okay, that was a blip on the radar, 6 in a row. They're back to the team that we thought in the preseason.
Yeah,
but I'm still about 6 games away from going back to that.
It reminded you of what they're capable of. And that was the first thing I noticed was what Mac has been challenging really the last 2 games out when you've heard him in the postgame. And that is get to the rim. Be aggressive, get to the rim. That you could see was pretty evident. They get down by 8, all of a sudden it was almost, I don't want to, cliche it up, but it was almost kind of like, okay, we're not accepting this again. And I do think Kalkbrenner had a lot to do with it because it's that presence. You see this all the time in sports too. Let's talk about bad baseball teams, but when the ace is on the hill, they feel a lot more confident. And that's carrying over to what they're doing in the batter's box as well. Same thing in basketball. When you got your guy where your offense goes through him so much, you've got a legitimate rim protector. You feel like the margin for error is not as thin as it is without him. So you are, just naturally able to play a little bit more free. And when I think of being able to play free, I think of your backcourt being able to do those things, being able to get aggressive, being able to, penetrate. Shots are going down. The game last night, from what we've seen Creighton shoot beyond the arc, it was a modest amount, but they knocked down, they took quality shots, and a lot of that was a product of what they were able to do getting to the rim. And then going back to Kalkbrenner, I didn't know, and I'm sure a lot of people didn't know what his overall minutes were going to look like, what his overall presence was going to look like, but watch him in the second half really sort of insert himself in the paint the way he did, kind of feeling things out in the first half. You just had a more confident team. And I think it is foolish to say that all of their issues was because Kalkbrenner's absence, because there were things where you have a team that should be able, considering the opponents that they were playing, you should have other guys that you can rely on, either with Kalkbrenner's injured or if he's in foul trouble. And so I don't want to put it all on Kalkbrenner's absence, but his presence and watching the way the team played around him and watching what he was able to do on his own, it's hard not to notice that team looked very different, but confident more than anything.
They had a win last night and they won. And they hadn't won a basketball game in a month, and they win by 22.
I was dreading had they lost what this would have been like today. Ugh.
Well, I think then you start looking in the mirror and you've got some issues, and it extends well beyond number 11 coming back. There's got to be something else. They had a win last night and they won. And I'm going to call it a get right. But they showed you of things they've done well that they, if they continue to do those things. I think another thing, when you have somebody as important as Kalkbrenner back in the lineup, everybody can stay in their own lane. Like Kaluma last night didn't try and do everything. And then Baylor Shireman, who is, he's their number 1 weapon, in my opinion. And you can look at his numbers and compare him to South Dakota State and his transition from the Summit League to the Big East. But I think when he feels like he has to do everything, he gets into trouble. Mm-hmm. And he was somebody that was also contributed on both ends of the floor. So he's got another body with him where he can put up a 14, 8, and 4 night, and you go, that's the typical line for Baylor, because he doesn't have to do everything. Right. Everybody stayed in their own lane for Creighton last night because they had their big man back. And if they can continue to move forward, then they can climb back to where they think they should be. But it's still going to be a climb. because I don't think they're completely right, because you still have to figure out what comes off the bench. Now, Farabella gave you quality minutes last night, but they still have that issue that is not going to be erased overnight. But they needed to win. They got to win last night. I'm wondering, though, because of the situation as cold as it was, and actually looking at watching the game on TV, that there were more people there than I thought. Still not a great atmosphere. I haven't played a lot of home games, but it hasn't been the juiced up atmosphere that usually you get down there. But I'm wondering how the usher enforcement was last night.
As far as guys moving down to the lower bowl? Yeah. I bet it was very loose.
There are certain sections in that building, and I know a lot of the ushers because we interact with them a lot at the College World Series, and you see them. I mean, they're everywhere. They usher there. They're at Baxter Arena. That if last night they were a little lax.
Yeah, I hope they were.
If you could move down, because sometimes they're awful strict on movement from the 200 to the 100 level at the Chi.
Don't even look at those seats.
Do you remember, I think it was 2018 or 2019, they played Midland in December. I remember watching that game. I was at a sports bar watching that game, and I'm like, oh my God, that is bare in the lower bowl. But then you could tell there were some people up top. Second half, you saw lower bowl filling in, and a few people that I knew that went to the game, they said, yeah, they're actually encouraging.
Yeah,
come down.
I think Jake Ryan invited people to come and sit in the lower bowl.
Come on down. You know what? For the next 20 minutes, enjoy this view. So yeah, I would assume last night, if you braved the cold,
that would be the night that as an usher I would look the other way.
I would too. I don't care how short of a walk that was from your car. It's at least going to be 5 minutes, 6 minutes if you had primo parking.
Well, primo parking. Now, if you're in like the garage.
Oh yeah.
But what if you were in lot D?
Right.
Were you sprinting to the side doors?
That alone should get you any seat you want.
They may not have made it.
Any seat that's open, you should get by getting in there. And I assume the ushers probably felt that way. At least I hope so.
All right. I wonder if it'll be that. I wonder what kind of a crowd they'll have for Christmas. That's a 3:30 tip-off.
Yeah.
Are you going to a movie or are you going to a college basketball game?
I mean, I'd rather go to the college
I'm
basketball
eating prime
game.
rib. It's Christmas tradition.
Remember, you got a slate of NFL games and you have the NBA, of course.
Got Packers, Dolphins. You know what? I'm with Nick. Eat some prime rib.
Yeah.
Flip on the radio and listen to John and Ravi Lula call the game.
Go see a movie.
Ravi's
on Monday.
doing color on.
Yes,
Really,
sir.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
He's pumped. I'm excited for him.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So, and I'm serious. I mean, that's what I'll tune it in. I want to listen. So, that's what I'll be doing.
Jesus, Bishop just running people off right and left.
Got Packers, Dolphins. Will be in the 50s in Miami
before long. Before they get to like the UConn home game, I'll be doing color with Bishop.
It's coming. I mean, it's down a rotation.
He's just going through the list of people: Stromberg, Clement, Lula. All right, well, that's cool. That's good for Ravi. They should just turn that into a talk show.
Yeah,
the Paul game could be. Yeah, I should just like talk about all kinds of stuff. Break into Matt Rule discussion on a Creighton basketball broadcast.
They'd love that.
Yes,
feel like a 12-1 baseball game. We're in the bottom of the seventh.
Talk about the Ben Scott news
next hour. Brett Ciancia will join us for Pick Six previews on Mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com with Gary Sharp and Nick Handley. Big names, big games. We've got them all. 1620 The Zone.
No matter how cold it gets this winter, you'll want to ditch the ski mask and show off your new smile and straighter teeth from Byte.com. That's BYTE.com. Byte Invisible Teeth Aligners are doctor-directed and cost thousands less than traditional braces. Download the MyByte mobile app to track the progress of your smile every step of the way. Order your at-home impression kit today for $14.95 with your clear aligner purchase from Byte.com. That's BYTE.com. Be confident. Be you with Byte.
If you're the one who's always asked to bring plates and napkins to a party, well, do that. But bring something extra too. Bring along some of the most awesomest ice cream in the metro. Ted and Wally's. Seriously, if you bring Ted and Wally's ice cream, the pie table will be the most popular dessert location because Ted and Wally's ice cream is perfect with pies. Stop into Ted and Wally's at either their Benson or Old Market location and grab some pints or quarts. Pick up some gift cards too because stocking stuffers. Ted and Wally's Ultra Premium Ice Cream. TedandWally's.com.
As the calendar turns closer to Christmas, Ringer Rewards has even more prizes for you to win. Volunteer to ring the bell at any one of our Salvation Army Red Kettles, and you'll get a chance to win hundreds of dollars in prizes from local stores. Ringer Rewards is fun and easy. If you ring for just a single 2-hour shift, you could win hundreds of dollars in groceries from local stores, food from local restaurants, and more. Remember, the more you ring, the more chances you get to win. Sign up now at registertoring.com. That's registertoring.com.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
This message is for the guy who isn't perfect in the bedroom. And let's be honest, who is? Maybe the issue is getting it up or keeping it up, or maybe it's finishing too soon. If any of these performance hiccups sound familiar to you, don't sweat it. Hims can help. At 4hims.com, you can go online and get clinically proven prescription medication that treats these issues, prescribed for you, if appropriate, by licensed medical providers. And the medication is shipped free to your door in discreet packaging. Plus, Hims gives you unlimited follow-up visits with medical providers. No one's perfect in the bedroom every time, but with Hims, you can get a lot closer than before. And chances are, your partner will agree.
To get started today, go to 4hims.com/perfect. That's 4hims.com/perfect for your free visit. FORHIMS.com/PERFECT.
Enjoy the season with great connections on up to 6 devices with the panoramic Wi-Fi gateway from Cox.
MD West One's team of neurosurgical spine specialists is the largest and most advanced in the greater Omaha metro. MD West One has been voted the #1 private practice and #1 in neurosurgery and spine by Best of Omaha year after year. They can help if you're suffering from recurring neck and back pain, weakness or numbness in your extremities, sciatica pain, or any other recurring issue stemming from your neck or back. Go to mdwest1.com to meet the spine team at MD West One.
Join J-Tech Construction and Solar for their annual sock drive. Help J-Tech Construction and Solar along with Farmers Insurance. Warm souls with new socks as the weather gets cold. You can donate your new socks for adults and children to help the Open Door mission at NRG Media, 5011 Capitol Avenue, or at J-Tech Construction and Solar, 114th and Center Street. We'll be collecting socks until January 13th, so while you're out doing your holiday shopping, pick up some new socks for adults or children to keep our neighbors warm this winter season.
And we're back. Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Here's Gary, Nick, and Jimmy on 1620 The Zone.
Charlie Brown Christmas, nearly 60 years old, never gets old.
No.
Remember when there was one year they weren't going to show it and there was an outrage like ABC, I think it's ABC always shows a Charlie Brown Christmas. People got outraged.
Why were they not going to show it? What was the reason
I
behind
don't know.
that?
I think
Did they try to cancel it?
They're trying to do something different?
Snoopy is bad.
It was bullying.
Pigpen? I mean, this is
Putting the football in front and then pulling it back, that's bullying.
Oh,
We gotta be better
they
than
would
that.
do that.
I don't know. We're trying to get my kid into Charlie Brown. We tried to play this on him this year, and he's
You gonna dress him like Charlie Brown?
no. Just we're trying to play the Charlie Brown Christmas for him, and I think 30 seconds, he was ready to move on to the next one.
We're good. What bowl game's on?
We'll work
Hey,
for next year. We'll work
good,
for next
good.
year.
Do not give up on
No.
Charlie Brown. No
No.
one should give up on Charlie Brown.
Absolutely not.
All right, Brett Ciancia in the next hour. If you're waking up this morning and you are watching us on the Twitch, the YouTuber, the streamer, however you consume this program, but you also are active on Twitter, for some reason, sometime yesterday, there is a new addition to tweets of the tweet view number, which seems to be unnecessary.
On the Twitter?
You guys
That says that? No, I hadn't noticed that.
go to regular Twitter, not on TweetDeck. Go to
Okay.
regular Twitter.
See, I do not go to regular Twitter. I'm on the deck.
So there is tweet view numbers
Okay.
of how many people have viewed your tweet. And that is brand new. To me, it seems a rather unnecessary thing. I'm wondering how long that will last, or if anybody else caught that.
Is this an Elon thing?
I was just gonna say.
Musk. It really hits home if you have good engagement with a tweet or not.
We have 443 views of our first tweet with the lineup.
All right.
Powered by the rooferys at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Yeah, for example, I'll give you a quick one because he is all over Twitter. Matt Rule, who never sleeps, 42 minutes ago, hashtag what's capital NEXT, already 11,800 views on that tweet.
Happy Festivus, Coach.
Yeah. By the way, he was a retweeting fool last night.
Any emojis?
Let's see. I don't think he's done emojis in a while.
Yeah.
He's got. I get that people are on to him about the emojis because now their whole thing is the hashtag renew23 and then transitioning into hashtag 24 hours.
Yes, I've been seeing that hashtagged all over the place. Did you? By the way, Colorado taking an interesting swipe at Nebraska by one Colorado fan account, saying that Rule's got to use emojis because Nebraska fans can't read.
See, that hate's coming back. It won't be as hospitable when they go out there.
We've got a long way to go before
they're getting the urine bottles ready.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. You went 1-11 last year. At least we didn't go 1-11. Or 2 coming next.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com. Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley, brought to you by MD West One Orthopedics, Neurosurgery, and Spine on 1620 The Zone.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton Heating, AC, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center. One accident to watch out for at US 75 and I-80, the westbound ramp. The right lane is blocked. Make sure you stay left. But otherwise, light traffic for your morning commute as we head into the holiday weekend. There's still some slippery road conditions. Use caution if you are heading into work today. And as always, stay safe and make sure you wear your seatbelt.
This time-saving traffic was brought to you by Burton AC, Heating, Plumbing, and More.
Hi, I'm Mark Evans, owner of Burton AC, Heating, Plumbing, and More. Right now, we'll open your drain line for only $93 or it's free. Call for details or request service at justcallburton.com.
At Sid Dillon Chevrolet, we prioritize you and your vehicle needs. Visit our dealerships to shop inventory or to order your new vehicle. Shop online at SidDillonChevy.com.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Chevy, find new roads.
Car repair is car repair. Most places you go can change your oil or fix your brakes. The difference is the experience you'll get at Omaha Car Care. We're part of the community. We were born here, and we believe that our relationship with you should be built to last. We're going to consult you, not sell you. We're going to give you a free loaner car. We're going to treat you like a valued friend that we want to continue to see in the years to come. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
Santa Barkley is back, and this year he's giving new FanDuel customers exactly what you want. Unwrap the gift of a no-sweat first bet up to $2,500 back in free bets when you sign up using our promo code 1620. That's right, $2,500 back if your first bet doesn't win. That's up to $2,500 back. It's the perfect time to start with FanDuel and Santa Barkley.
John, we got a triple header of games coming up on Christmas in the NFL and so much more. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today. Put in our promo code 1620 for your no-sweat first bet for up to $2,500 via Santa Barkley. Once again, that promo code 1620. 21 plus and present in Iowa. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions do apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Last year, I enrolled my family for health care coverage through the health insurance marketplace. Do I need to enroll again?
Yes, we have seen the plans available through the marketplace change, and new options may be available. You must re-enroll for 2023 to ensure you or your family are in the right plan for your budget and needs. Charles Drew Health Center in Omaha can help. Just call 402-451-3553 to set up an appointment with a team member.
I don't have health coverage, and I'm worried that if I get sick, I can't afford the medical bills. How do I get started?
Getting started is easy and free. Just call to set up an appointment with a Navigator enrollment specialist. We will explain your coverage options, answer any questions, help you enroll, and see if you qualify for financial assistance. Open enrollment is November 1st through January 15th. Re-enroll in healthcare coverage or enroll for the first time. Call Charles Drew Health Center at 402-451-3553 to set up an appointment.
The Blue Jay Zone is brought to you by Barry Law. We're in it to win it. Duncan McGuire led all of men's college soccer in goals scored in 2022, and his 9 postseason goals helped the Blue Jays into the College Cup. McGuire's now one of 3 finalists for the Mac Herman Trophy for the nation's best soccer player. The trophy will be announced at the Missouri Athletic Club in St. Louis on January 6th. If McGuire wins, he will be the school's second, along with McGuire's head coach, Johnny Torres, who won the honor in 1997.
Winning comes without a guarantee. Focus, discipline, and extraordinary effort make winning more likely. Sometimes our greatest wins come from major setbacks. Coming back from a serious injury is a win that requires teamwork. At Barry Law, we're in it to win it.
If you have been seriously injured in an accident, call Barry Law today. 402-999-7777.
Ramona's Mexican restaurant is a North Omaha original on 30th Street. Everything you've loved about Ramona's is still the way you remember. Nachos, the works, the popular deep fried burrito, that beast of a cheeseburger, and don't forget those cinnamon chips. They offer indoor and outdoor seating, fresh margaritas and cocktails, plus a convenient walk-up window. And if you buy a Ramona's t-shirt, they'll take 20% off your bill when you wear your t-shirt. Just north of 30th Street in historic Florence. Come check them out today.
News Talk 1290 is the new home for Omaha Maverick women's basketball all season long. Don't miss any of the Maverick action as they try to make their mark on the Summit League this season. Omaha Mavericks women's basketball is on News Talk 1290.
Hey everybody, it's Gary Sharp. Join me for We Got a Podcast driven by Woodhouse Auto Family. We get more in depth, have a guest or two, and drop nuggets of info you haven't heard anywhere else. Join us for We Got a Podcast driven by Woodhouse Auto Family every Friday in the show page on 1620thezone.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. And we're back. Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Here's Gary, Nick, and Jimmy on 1620 The Zone.
This has to be a top 10 Christmas song.
Top 5.
From Charlie Brown Christmas, too, by the way. Nicely done, Jimmy. It's a good song. At some point, there's going to be bad Christmas songs that we're going to play. But right now, we're on a roll.
Yeah, we're
now, that's a good one. That puts you in a good mood as we welcome back in for hour number 2 of Morning from Sharp and Handley on Festivus Day.
I'm doing just fine, Clark. Just happy to be here.
Is this artist, is this Mavis Staples?
Yeah.
Is that it? Okay. Because there's a couple different versions and there's different artists. I thought the original one was Mavis Staples.
I think the
Do you have that on your bingo card?
no, because the guy in the original was some guy named Vince that sang it in the original Charlie Brown Christmas. Yeah, this has been redone like numerous times. This is like one of those songs. If you're going to put together a Christmas album, you'll do your own spin on it.
Yes. Yeah. You can always tell. It's a very, very distinct voice.
We don't get a lot of new like Christmas music.
No.
mean,
Taylor Swift just re-records some other ones, and that's great.
Or Bruce Springsteen puts his spin on Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Right.
Which I hope that we hear a little bit later.
It's coming. It's coming.
They lobby him.
Build it up. We did have somebody on the stream request something yesterday. It was a good one, and I cannot remember. So if that person is listening, if they can re-put it in the comments, I'll see if I can get it on. I cannot remember. I was just thrown off. I remember Nick wanted the Eagles.
Thank you. I was just going to ask him.
It's queued
Curious
up.
if you
Where did it
remember.
go? Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Nice.
So
Thanks. Thank you, Jimmy.
Christmas in Hollis is going to get played again because come on,
Will you?
it is a Christmas movie.
Can we have a fireside chat with?
We can do that.
Was the night before Christmas?
I need some Bob Seger.
Hollis.
Oh yes,
Bob
Bob
Seger.
Seger. That's right.
Yes.
We did. I knew there was another one.
You know, it's cold across the country when, usually when you're in part of the country that's cold, got snow, somebody will be a smart ass and screenshot their temperature. Everybody is screenshotting the elite weather faux pas today of cold weather throughout the country. One thing I noticed yesterday when I was out and about in the bitterly cold weather is jumper cables have become very popular.
Mm-hmm.
You hide them in your car somewhere in the trunk, and you hope that you never have to use them, or you bail somebody out. It's a lot of usage of jumper cables yesterday.
Have you ever had to use them? And if you haven't,
Yes.
are you confident that you would be able to pull it off
Yes.
successfully? Okay,
Well,
good.
I had a mistake when I was younger because you mix the red and the black, and you're not properly told how to do it, even though it's pretty clear. But I'm a good jumper.
Good.
I'll give people a jump.
I think anytime you're
I'm an elite. The jumper cables come out quick.
You're 5-star?
Yeah, I get it right after. I like my jumper cable ability to jumpstart somebody. I could be put on an NASCAR pit.
I was
crew.
going to ask, is it pit crew worthy?
Mhm.
Because you open up that hood, man, it can be intimidating if you've never done it before and you're worried that if you hook it up to something that is not to be hooked up, that you cause permanent damage. You don't want to be that person. I understand it. Or you don't want to kill yourself.
Yeah. So if you're stranded on the side of the road, you may see me because I'm willing to give people a jump.
Good for you.
Jumper cables and wiper
as long as I
fluid.
don't feel like I'm going to get jumped.
Right.
That's good. You're a good Samaritan. We need more Gary Sharps in the world.
So we need more people out there that have jumper cables.
That's
not
true.
everybody has jumper cables.
I do.
And then when
I have
random
them.
strangers ask you, "Hey, can I get a jump?" I mean, are you more likely to give somebody a light or give somebody a jump?
A jump because I don't have a lighter. And I
Is
don't
that
believe
still a
my car.
thing?
My car doesn't. Yeah, the
That's
push
still a thing that
People forget that they once had lighters in cars.
Yeah.
My first car did.
My lighter in my car now has a cell phone charger.
Yes, I mean that's
Yeah.
pretty much what it is.
I don't know. I haven't been hit up for a light in a long time.
I haven't either.
Maybe it's because I don't look like a smoker. Maybe that's the thing. But I haven't been asked for a light in a
How
while.
do you profile a smoker though? There's a lot of people that I would think, hey, I bet that person smokes. They don't, or people are like, oh wow, they're pulling out a heater.
Did not know that.
No, I think if you're in the smoking community, you know.
Do you?
Yeah.
My union card right here.
What's the tell?
No, I think you know. I don't know.
Really?
I'm not a smoker, but I think if you're in the smoking community, you know if you're a fellow smoker or not.
Spot one from a mile.
They get
Secret handshake.
give it a smile, and all of a sudden their teeth are yellow. I mean, you're like, hey,
Hey, me too.
we're together.
Is it like the
We're
Jeep
together.
wave? You just there's a nod.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you know, you know.
Okay.
So I have jumper cables, and I will jump you for hire.
We get that on a T-shirt.
That would be if I was in the tow truck business. That might be the name of my tow truck company.
No, I think that'd be really good. It'd be attention grabbing.
Speaking of jumping, Ben Scott's mom may have jumped the gun last night on Facebook. He is the Arizona State multi-year starter, center and tackle at Tempe, who was in the portal, visited Nebraska, has got a connection to the Raiolas. Mom is from Nebraska. She put on Facebook, Ben committed to Nebraska. Ben hasn't said anything publicly, but he will say something officially today. But it's an interesting turn for Nebraska, Nick and Jimmy, because it looked like after his visit here, Auburn was the place for him.
Mm-hmm.
And Hugh Freeze turned his recruiting class around. And I'm sure Hugh Freeze just spins it. If he is back in the mix with Nebraska, and there's no reason to think, like Mom's not lying. I don't think Mom would do that. That's a big deal for her son to go and play for Nebraska. But we have to wait for him to confirm it because And I mean, look, we had a kid yesterday commit to Oregon, decommit from Notre Dame, commit to Oregon, decommit from Oregon in 24 hours, and now he's at Oklahoma. So you never say never until they say something publicly and actually something is signed.
Yeah.
But I wonder, as this comes through, and I felt good about where Nebraska was a couple of weeks ago, and then Auburn got in the mix, and he got really, really quiet. And I thought, uh-oh, this isn't going to go Nebraska's way. Did NIL get involved? Did all of a sudden, who we talked yesterday about Matt Rule adjusting to the day and age of NIL and Nebraska's usage of it for either to acquire talent or on your current roster, if somehow name, image, likeness came into play here and Nebraska said, we can't lose this guy because we might lose this guy to the bag full of cash in Auburn. We need this guy because he could walk in the door and be your starting center for a couple of years. Let's see what an NIL deal could do. And Nebraska wins the battle. I don't know that. I'm wondering what is the flip when it seemed pretty strong to Auburn.
Yeah. You immediately have to go there without knowing. And maybe it's not fair because, look, we're 24 hours, a little more than removed from Matt Rule talking about that whole aspect of recruiting. But look, he wasn't, if you're not signed, if he was also on your radar and you were amongst the schools that he's choosing, you start to kind of feel out the competition, right? I mean, this is part of the game that, okay, how do we put ourselves in position to get this guy? And unless something's signed, I don't see that effort coming to a halt. And part of that effort now is NIL, where Nebraska's position with the collective. If it's a last-ditch effort, so be it. But to me, this doesn't fall in the category. And I'm not just saying this because this is Matt Rule. I would say this for any coach. If you are amongst the teams that the young man is deciding between, and nothing is official, nothing, as you pointed out, is signed, then you are going to put everything into it until it is signed. It's once he's signed and, a year down the road, you're like, hey, remember us? Well, how's that NIL working for you? So, yeah, I would have to imagine NIL was a big part of this. It seems like you connect all the dots, and that's probably what you're left with.
And now I want to connect more dots and know if Matt Rule has known about this for a couple of days because I'm in my head, I'm listening to him talk about the offensive line. Because if Ben Scott does follow through on Mom's Facebook post and he's committed to Nebraska, he's a starter. He walks in the door and he's starting for you. And center appears to be the spot. So then you can do the math and go, okay, there's an issue for Nebraska outside of Cam Jurgens, Nebraska trying to find a consistent center, even though Hickson had, I would say, a better year than most people thought. But it's been a position that is kind of an afterthought. Here's somebody that could come in and be your center. What does it change the focus of that offensive line? Because now you have the anchor and you can build out, and you've got two guys that either played minimal football last year but were a starter or did not play at all that could anchor one side of the line. And then you maybe a little optimistic that strength and conditioning will fix a couple of other guys, and you might have a serviceable five-man offensive line. Now, depth is still going to be an issue because you've got the backups are either unproven or have not done much when they've been given a chance, or they're just walking in the door. But this would be a significant pickup for Matt Rule, but also I think for Donnie Raiola. What is the thing we're waiting on about Raiola? One, what he does with a better connection with an OC, another year, a coach that is probably going to be in line with him or is going to be heavily involved with him. This is a nice pickup because there is the connection of the Raiola family.
Yeah.
And we wonder about his recruiting. Well, I'm sure that he'll get some credit for Ben Scott ending up at Nebraska again, if that's the case. I don't want to steal the kid's thunder. Let him make the announcement. But Mom basically has said that Nebraska's picking up probably their starting center for the next 2 years.
And that's kind of the gift that keeps on giving in recruiting right now, too. Because, nobody can look at what Matt Rule and his staff have done in the last 25 days, maybe more than that, and not be at least a little impressed. Because it's that crunch and how competitive it is. It's huge. to be able to put together a class that all of a sudden is now in most publications in the top 30. And I know we don't have to get hung up on numbers or rankings and more of just getting the guys in there that you can develop. But then we're 2 days now removed from National Signing Day or the early signing period, and yet you're getting news like this, and where you've now just bolstered your overall roster and in an area of immediate need too. So, yeah, and when he did talk about the offensive line, now you do kind of wonder, okay, he knew this was happening all along. He knew the offensive line. You know, he made it a point to talk about, hey, the narrative of the offensive line, I don't see it that way. This group's going to be better. We're going to have an identity for them. I don't think you're fully going into that part of the conversation with football team struggles if you don't feel you have at least a guy or two that is going to be there that you feel damn confident is going to be an upgrade in a certain area.
All right, Brett Ciancia from Big Six Preview is going to join us here in a little bit. Mike Schaefer will stop by at 9, his thoughts on Nebraska's class of 23, which is still not done. There are could be an addition or two between now and the next time that we are with you on January 3rd, as there are some all-star games that are coming up. But that would be a nice little early Festivus Christmas gift if Ben Scott is part of this recruiting class as a portal transfer from Arizona State. And that would be by far the biggest addition on the offensive line out of the portal. As Nebraska got 2 last year, and one hardly played, and the other one is already off to a different locale. All right, 7:23. Nick, Jimmy, and Gary on the last show for all of us for 2022 on 1620 The Zone. Hey, you can shop Woodhouse Buick GMC first. They're a great showroom, and it is a large indoor showroom located at 119th and I, where they will take care of you. You're looking for something that this time of the year that's going to keep you safe and warm. Well, you can find it with Woodhouse Buick GMC. You want something that gives you a remote start, heated seats, heated steering wheel, traction selection system. You can find all of that today at 119th and I. Don't have to be out in the cold weather, indoors, or you know what? You can also do it online. They've streamlined the whole process, whether it be in person or online, to find that stylish SUV, that capable truck. Might recommend the GMC Acadia if you're looking for something that has plenty of room, like 3 rows of seating and large cargo room. You can find all of this, new and pre-owned, in person, online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com. Now, don't forget, online, you're not ignored. You can interact with a sales team member. You can value your trade. You can schedule a test drive. You can do all of that. They make it easy on you. So shop Woodhouse GMC first. Their huge indoor showroom off 119th and I. You can shop comfortably in all kinds of weather, because with Woodhouse, we all stick together. In-store or online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
More with Gary and Nick after this on 1620 The Zone. Mornings on 1620 The Zone is brought to you by MD West One Orthopedics, Neurosurgery, and Spine. The Connor Happer Show.
Connie Mack only won 9 pennants in his 55 years as a manager. What a bum.
Could you imagine sports radio in the time of Connie Mack? Boy, I tell you, this Connie Mack guy just can't get it done. Can't win the big one. Can't get over the hump.
Only 5 World Series.
Connie Mack, more like Connie Hack. Am I right?
That's exactly how they talked.
The Connor Happer Show. Weekdays from 10 to 2 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Dangerously cold Friday with a high today near 2 degrees, but at the warmest, feeling like negative 21. A wind chill warning remains in effect throughout the day Friday with northwesterly winds up to 40 miles an hour. Otherwise, mostly to partly cloudy today, becoming partly cloudy to mostly clear tonight. Extremely cold, feeling like 27 below zero. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley, brought to you by MD West One Orthopedics, Neurosurgery, and Spine on 1620 The Zone.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton Heating, AC, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center, crash at US 75 and I-80 westbound has the right lane blocked. Make sure you keep left. And at Highway 75 northbound, closed at the Chandler exit. Traffic is backing up. Plan your reroute accordingly. The good news, the earlier crash at I-680 at 31st Mormon Bridge that had the right lane blocked is cleared. All lanes now open. Otherwise, light traffic for your morning commute as we head into the holiday weekend. There's still some slippery road conditions, so use caution.
This time-saving traffic was brought to you by IB IBEW Local 22.
Looking for a career, not a job? IBEW has immediate openings for residential electricians. You'll receive top pay, fully funded family health care, and retirement benefits. Invest in yourself with IBEW Local 22. Call Michael at 402-810-0789.
Email any of our shows anytime into the Equitable Bank inbox. At Equitable, we take banking personally. For me, John at 1620thezone.com. The Equitable Bank inbox from 1620 The Zone.
Hey, everybody, it's Michael Savit for Rotella's Italian Bakery. Happy holidays from Rotella's. We hope all your gatherings with your family and your friends are merry and bright. From everyone at Rotella's Italian Bakery, we want to wish you a very happy holidays because this is the time for family and gatherings. And when you get together, what are you going to do? You're going to eat. Food is awesome during the holidays, and you want to make sure you have the best sides as well. Whether you need to make some stuffing, or you just need some bread for a side, or you need dinner rolls, the best place to do it is Rotella's Italian Bakery. I have to be honest, I'd never had Rotella's before moving to Nebraska, and it was a tradition in my wife's family, and now it's a tradition in my family to always have at least one loaf of Rotella's bakery bread right there in the bread box and ready to go. So we want you to have a great happy holidays. Rotella's is wishing you a happy holidays. Make sure all your gatherings are awesome by having Rotella's Italian Bakery bread. Head over to 108th and Harrison or one of your local grocery stores. It's 100 years of tradition from all of us at Rotella's Bakery, wishing you a happy holidays.
Celebrating the holidays without giving gift cards from Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill is just, well, wrong. Seriously, how could you even consider not giving Oscar's Pizza and celebrated char-buffed wings, especially with their Thai chili bourbon wing sauce? Spend time with your family with Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill pizza and wings. And give your friends and extended family gift cards from Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill. 173rd and West Center Road for dine-in and takeout, and 162nd and Maple for takeout.
Record inflation. Even with the holidays right around the corner, it's still hammering the budgets of families in need all around the Omaha Metro. Help make Christmas happen for them by giving to the Salvation Army. When you donate, you keep the lights and heat on, put food on the table, and put presents under the tree for families that need it most. Join our effort to love beyond Christmas. Give to the Salvation Army now at omaharedkettle.org. That's omaharedkettle.org.
This week, Zone has 5 great deals half off. That's right. Each day this week, we'll have a new deal half off that is perfect for those last-minute gift ideas. You'll find deals from Early Bird, Le Voltaire, Ted and Wally's Ultra Premium Ice Cream, Shug's Comfort Food, and Palm Beach Tan, all for half off. Make sure to log on at 9 a.m. each day to see what deal we have available, because these half-off deals will go fast. Head to 1620thezone.com and click deals now.
Message and data rates may apply. Do you need a car? Been shopping only to be turned down because of bad credit, low credit, no credit, bankruptcy, or divorce? Guess what? Today's your lucky day, because now you can buy a car, truck, or SUV, just about any vehicle. It's true. Bad credit doesn't matter. No credit doesn't matter. Bankruptcy or divorce, it just doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, your job is your ticket to your new vehicle. We're Auto Credit Express, and we've helped thousands of people just like you. Antonio H. told us, great company, got me connected, and the day I went in, I drove off in the car I wanted. 100% worth your time. Need a car? Get started now and drive off as early as today. Just text APPLY NOW to 88909 right now to get started. That's APPLY NOW to 88909. Auto financing the easy way. Text APPLY NOW to 88909. Listen to Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay Overtime, the Creighton men's basketball postgame show on 1620 The Zone. Live from DJ's Dugout downtown. It's right after every home game, presented by Barry Law. Exclusively on your home for the Creighton Blue Jays. 1620 The Zone. Dingman's Mechanical Repair. Service is at the heart of our business. Visit us at dingmansmechanical.com.
Now back to mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone.
All right, 7:31 on this Friday morning. Just remember, everybody get out of the stores. For all of us procrastinators, we will be taking over the stores today and tomorrow. So please get everything done. And so that those of us that wait until the last moment, we have full aisles to go up and down. Hopefully not everything is picked through. We're hoping and
That's
praying.
on you. If it is, that's on you.
I mean, it's the challenge of last-minute shopping.
Oh, is that?
It's
Are you for the thrill of it?
It's the thrill of victory.
Oh.
So that when you find a gift that everybody says, that one is out of stock, you find it, and you walk out of the store, and you go into your full entourage mode. Victory. So I've always been a procrastinator, but I this time of the year I kind of wait, and I'm not a big online guy.
And this would be the day to hit a store. I'm not all the stores, but a lot of people are being scared off by the cold.
Mhm.
So that might be the day to sneak in there and be like, you know what, Target, not that busy.
I was able to maneuver pretty stress-free yesterday.
A lot of the roads,
I'm done.
maybe
This is the earliest I've ever been done.
people might be waiting till tomorrow to travel just to let it warm up a little bit. Be a little bit better tomorrow. It'll be on the right side of 0.
So we are picking and choosing our favorite rendition of Little Drummer Boy. Steve says Joan Jett's version. Anatonics does another nice one as well. I mean, Carrie Underwood. Could go on and on. Everybody is.
She's waiting all day for Sunday night.
She's been waiting all day for her Little Drummer Boy.
Little Drummer Boy.
Yes. Yeah.
Like everybody's going to have a Drummer Boy rendition.
Hey, Bob Seger's, man. Bob Seger has
Like a rock.
like has "Oh Come" or
Can we get some Aaron Neville Christmas music? Can we? Okay.
This is just
Oh, yeah.
request line for
I
Christmas
mean,
music today.
Hey, if
Brett may be preoccupied. That's he is not with us. He may be catching up on his viewing of bowl games, which the viewership is up. Ratings have been pretty good for the first week of bowl games.
we always used to say back in the day, we love the holiday programming.
Still understand like this week why there's not like one game in the afternoon.
There should
that
be.
1:30 bowl kickoff would be ideal. Now we have 2 games today,
And we do have a day game.
More football is better than less football. Some of these games are not very good, but it's still football. When was the last time that anybody outside of the team you root for or cover, or the playoff, the semis and the final, that you watched an entire bowl game?
I'm always was a big Holiday Bowl fan, regardless if Nebraska was involved.
49-45. It was must see.
All of the
Holiday
Bowls,
Bowl,
it was
except
a run.
for the year Sioux dominated Arizona, but that was just fun to watch because I always enjoyed watching them play.
But even if Nebraska wasn't involved, Holiday Bowl was delivered.
You'd get like an Oklahoma State Oregon game, or if you go further back, when you'd get the WAC team playing in there, you'd get some chaos.
And that was the Holiday Bowl was usually right after Christmas.
Yeah. The
like
SeaWorld
immediately
Holiday
after.
Bowl.
It was like always like either 29th or 30th of December.
Yeah. That was a bowl game that I always felt was must see.
Was never 13-9.
No. That'll be Iowa, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Actually, that's actually high scoring.
I know you're kind of giving him a lot of credit.
I see it now. That's one I would start to finish, no problem. I'll watch.
You're a sicko?
Yeah.
I think I've watched
I'm a masochist.
I've watched at least 5 minutes of every bowl game that's been played so far.
I watched the entire Potato Bowl the other day.
Okay.
Now, I did nod off during said Potato Bowl, but
You did what?
I was nodding off.
Oh, I thought you said something else.
No.
I was like,
no, we're out of the first hour now, so we're
Wow.
I did see the dumping of the fries. They looked really
yeah,
good.
it did look good.
They looked outstanding.
But the viewership is up, which means, again, these bowl games, which are a lot of them are owned by ESPN, they don't really care about the butts and seats.
No.
They get the sponsorship dollars because they can sell it as people are watching it. I'm just curious, who's watching these games long enough that you would make a tick on the ratings? I can't recall the last time outside of the parameters I just set that I've watched an entire bowl game.
Yeah,
even on New Year's Day when there's rapid fire.
Mhm.
Maybe the Rose Bowl, like Last year, Utah, Ohio State, I watched the entire
It was
game.
amazing. How could you not?
Every Rose Bowl.
Even if you wanted to get up and do something else, like, no, I got to see how this thing is. It's fantastic.
But the ratings are up. So kudos to everybody that's watching because that might mean we get more bowls. They have a couple of more 5 and 7 teams come and play. Here's my suggestion for the bowls. And they finally listened, like the NCAA said, and these games are exhibition outside of a couple, is you can play in this game and it doesn't count towards your 4 to red shirt.
Yeah.
But there should not be a case where a 9-3 team is playing a 6-6 team. At least do them a favor and get them a team that is like 8-4, 9-3. Have all the 6-6 and 5-7 New Mexico State that sneak in. Have them play each other.
Right.
I'm going to a bowl game, and I just had a really good year at 9-3, and I'm playing a 6-6 team. No, let the 6-6ers hang out together.
They can have their own bowl.
Well, and we all know,
With
like,
Mayo.
not all 9-3 and 8-4 and 7-5 seasons are created equal. But yeah, like I'm thinking about it, and I think that's what you're referring to. The 9-win team. The goal is to keep everybody amped, motivated, taking it as serious as you possibly can. You get a 6-6 team, it's like, cool.
Well, just if you get to 9 wins, I don't care how you do it. If you had a fairly good season, so you think you'd be rewarded, and now you're in a bowl game against a team that they just got to 500 and they got into a bowl.
Yeah.
And Baylor last night, 6-6, you could tell right away they had no interest in being in that game. And then add the cold on top of it, which added to the hardly any fans there.
That's another issue. So you have opt-outs, you have coaches that are changing, you have a lot of teams that have depth issues that are playing in a bowl game because you have a lot of guys that have already left the roster or are getting ready for the draft. There's also the bottom line of motivation. I mean, Florida, they did not want to play against Oregon State last week.
And it showed.
They basically thought they were playing in the Pro Bowl where you didn't have to tackle. I mean, that was an embarrassment.
Yeah.
And it's a disservice to Oregon State. It's a disservice to the people that put that bowl game on. And it's pretty clear. You can see right away in a lot of these bowl games who wants to be there. Just if they're going through the motions, or teams that are like, this is awesome. We got rewarded for a season. We like playing together. We love our coach. We don't have a ton of opt-outs. Coaches are basically still here. We're ready to go and play. Like Oregon State struck me right. You knew right away that game was going to get ugly. So, but it makes it hard to either handicap bowl games or pick, bet on bowl games. You don't know, who's going to be motivated. I liked Oregon State in that game. They were a 10.5-point favorite. But like last night, I would have thought, okay, Baylor is close to home. Yeah. They're going to give it the old college try. You're right, Jimmy.
Wasn't surprised.
Yeah, it was defensive linemen hit you once and then they stopped. And you're playing, and again, you're playing a service academy where you don't see that kind of offense in Air Force every week. And you're like, oh, well, no, this ain't for me today. I'm not in cold weather. I'm not trying to tackle anybody.
Well, and it's going to only get worse from that standpoint because this is not me saying, hey, the portal needs to go away. But I mean, that didn't exist 7 years ago. So you didn't have the immediate roster turnover as you do now. And then to your point about stacking, teams that are, in the 9-win category versus the 6-win category, there's a lot of things that are kind of working against that feeling of, we're going to see some great postseason football. Like postseason football, it's completely different than what it used to be. Postseason was supposed to mean something. It was supposed to be like, okay, this is, if you can't get to the college football playoff, which obviously didn't exist a while back, but if you couldn't get to the Rose Bowl, the Orange Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, if you couldn't get to those, you still were playing in a bowl game. This is motivation. This is a chance to, also display yourself for scouts. It's just, that's not the case. It's not getting any better. And now with the college football playoff expanding, can you sort of rework the bowl structure? Sure. But you're still going to run into that roster turnover, which I think is first and foremost going to be the major problem, because as soon as that last regular season game hits, guys that are on the move, they're not sticking around for a bowl game that just doesn't mean anything for them because they feel there's some obligation to their team, in my opinion.
Yeah, these non-playoff bowl games might be in
it's hit or miss.
As long as people are watching, they don't really care.
Exactly.
Okay, so they're getting paid. But in terms of enthusiasm towards it, because we're going to be so excited to have home playoff games in college football that the first round will have teams playing on their campus. We're going to ignore the New Mexico Bowl, the whatever, the Dallas Let's Fly in the Sky Bowl, or whatever it was called last
Jimmy
night.
Kimmel Bowl.
we're gonna ignore those because we're so excited about the playoff and how unique it'll be, where you're gonna have first round playoff games and you have 4 teams that have a bye. Even though I don't know why we penalize the top 4 teams that they don't get a home game as well. That's for a whole nother show.
Right.
But these bowl games are going to get less attention.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in whole, any bowl game that is played before Christmas gets very little attention.
Yeah.
Look, if you're watching SportsCenter, how long it takes them to actually get to bowl highlights.
Oh, by the way.
Or you know that there's bowl games going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do people know that Wake Forest and Mizzou are playing today?
Well, I'll give you an example about that game. So the Liberty Bowl wanted border war. They wanted Kansas and Missouri, which would have been chaos in Memphis. Would have been great atmosphere. The hate would have been flowing. It'd been like the old days. Well, word got out from the SEC that the Liberty Bowl wanted that, and Missouri told the SEC, we do not want to play Kansas at all. We don't in any bowl. And it came out, Brett McMurphy, right before Thanksgiving or right after, said that, and I believe him when he says that word got out because he talked to some people at the Liberty Bowl that they were upset. They wanted that game because they knew sellout. They're going to want that. And Missouri had no interest in playing Kansas. And he asked in the Liberty Bowl, they said, no, any bowl. The SEC coordinated that for them. All right, fine. So now they're going to the Gasparilla Bowl against Wake Forest tonight. Kansas is going to play Arkansas in the Liberty Bowl, and that'll be a pretty big crowd, at least from what I've heard. And Missouri's had some opt-outs. They kind of have egg on their face. So are they even going to show up tonight to play Wake Forest? Will there be any motivation? I don't know. I mean, you get a lot of these games like that.
I like Mizzou tonight, but any bowl game played before Christmas now is like, okay.
It is.
And then after Christmas, it's like, oh, all right, it's beginning.
It's
only
going to get worse.
So that's you can figure out your worth of a season of what time of the year you're playing a bowl game. Before Christmas or on the 26th when you're in Detroit playing in the
Motor City Bowl?
It's not the Little Caesars Bowl anymore.
Should be.
But you always get that random one right before like the college football national championship game that's like, oh, yeah, there's that one too. Just kind of snuck in there because they ran out of room.
There's like a bowl game on the 4th or 5th.
Yeah. That's the one that's like, what?
Actually, it's actually not bad. You're kind of like a standalone game.
Right.
But it's just the random. Shouldn't your season be over?
The Quick Lane Bowl or whichever one's in Mobile. Or
here is Donnie. Merry Christmas, Donnie. Good morning.
Merry Christmas, guys. Gary, you don't need to go last minute shopping for me, like Alex Keaton did in their Scrooged episode of Family Ties.
Wow, awesome!
Came home with a 6-pack of pop and some beef jerky and a TV guide for his mom. That's a gift that keeps on giving, Clark. You guys have given me. You have,
that is
you
like
have given
Donnie. You're like, if you've risen to the top, that you just because what are we talking? We're talking early 80s, right?
Early 80s.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well played.
Mm-hmm.
Great show.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have given me the gift already. Is this show, and I'm not just blowing smoke. I mean, I listen to you guys either coming to or going to work every morning. Just all three of you together has just been I look forward to the next year because you guys are it's like you've worked together for years and I really appreciate it. And you guys are talking bowl games. I get to add a bowl game check mark to the ones that I have attended. I have been to the Liberty Bowl. I have been to the Astro Blue Bonnet Bowl. I have been to the Cotton Bowl and then the Orange Bowl twice. And then if anybody wants to watch a decent bowl game, it would be New Year's Eve morning. I think you know where I'm going with this. That would be the Sugar Bowl, where you can see Nebraska native and Peru State wide receiver Garrison Dodge. There's a nice video package that's going to happen, and he's going to be recognized at halftime of the Sugar Bowl for his work with Athletes for Children and the AFCA Good Works team. So I want to invite you guys to watch that. And you were talking about incentives to win bowl games. I think the losing coach of the Potato Bowl should get doused in a giant bowl of turkey gravy.
Donnie, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Congratulations to you and your son. The Sugar Bowl starting at noon is wrong.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, it's being played on the day of because the playoff games are at 3 and 7.
Yeah.
Is New Orleans even like jumping at 11 a.m.?
I mean, maybe from the night before.
At least they have a
and-
good game. Like
They do.
Alabama, Kansas State will be one of those games where you don't have to worry about motivation.
Like
But-
Iowa,
but the
Kentucky,
Sugar-
that's 11 a.m.
The Sugar Bowl should not be starting at 11 a.m. or noon. I think it's
It's
I think it's
noon,
11
but at that point,
Okay.
oh man,
11 a.m.
11 a.m.
It's 11 a.m.
Yeah, you're gonna have some people with some headaches. In that
Well, no, the
crowd
Sugar
that-
Bowl should never be played during the day.
No,
the
yes.
Sugar Bowl
It was
should
7
be-
o'clock every
The
year.
Sugar Bowl should have a delayed start until the Rose Bowl is over,
Right.
and they start about 7:45 on ABC.
Yep. Prime time.
The
That's just the
USF&G
weirdest thing.
Sugar Bowl.
That was, yes.
Yeah.
USF&G. Florida, Miami.
So on New Year's Eve day, Fiesta Peach, Music City, Sugar. Then there are no games on the 1st because of the NFL.
Right.
And then on the 2nd, you have the Quest Bowl in Tampa, which used to be the Outback Bowl.
Okay.
Then you have the Citrus Bowl.
Which used to be the Citrus Bowl.
And then you have the Cotton Bowl. And then it finishes with the Rose Bowl.
There's not. I'm not seeing the
no-
goofy one.
There's no late night game on the 2nd.
Yeah.
And
I'm not
then-
seeing the goofy
That's
weird one
wrong,
either.
right
No,
there.
they've changed. I noticed that. So when the games are over on the 2nd, you don't have any more college football until the 9th.
Mm-hmm.
But you do have the FCS championship game, which is the Dakota marker game between North Dakota State and South Dakota State.
That is going to be a party out in Frisco.
They need to play it up here. That game needs to be played in the weather, the way they like it.
I'd love to see that game. Go out to Frisco. Frisco's fun.
Yeah.
I like Frisco.
I think they had their bowl already, the Frisco Bowl. That might have been a 16th or 17th game.
Yeah, that was. I'm really disappointed though. There's not the random January 5th bowl game that they just ran out of time slots. Like, we got nothing going on that week.
So you'd make the trip to Frisco to go see that game?
I would.
It's good football.
The Dakota National Championship, like that. Just the back and forth between the fan bases too. That's going to be awesome.
That's a ritual for North Dakota State fans.
Well, yeah, they run that town. But now seeing USD in there.
All right, 49 past the hour. Mike Schaefer to come. Matt Verzal with his thoughts on some things that Matt Rule said on offensive line play, among other things. And we can celebrate because Dansby Swanson is a Cub. Verz was a little upset last week about what the Cubs were doing. Now Dansby is with us. All of that still to come on the final show of 2022 on 1620 The Zone.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone. For the Jays, the Huskers, and even you Jayskers, we are 1620 The Zone.
Funplex has a limited time offer that'll deck your halls. The Funplex 'Tis the Season Pass Sale. Save big through Christmas and think warm thoughts as you and yours dream about sun, fun, sliding and chilling for summer of 23. Not only will you be saving $45 off the regular price, but if you're doing your holiday math, 3 visits and the pass pays for itself. Plus, there's always special offers to season pass holders on concessions, merch, and more. The Funplex 'Tis the Season Pass Sale. Now through Christmas at fun-plex.com.
Thank you to everyone who voted for MD West One in the Best of Omaha contest. We are thrilled to announce MD West One has been named the #1 private medical practice in Omaha for 4 years in a row. MD West One is also named first place in the orthopedic surgery and neurosurgical spine surgery. Our 34 board certified surgeons specialize in treating every bone, joint, or muscle condition from head to toe. Go to mdwest1.com to meet the #1 place to go for orthopedic, neurosurgery, and spine.
Find your next truck at Woodhouse Buick GMC. No matter where you're heading or what tasks need tackling, there's a premium and capable GMC truck that's perfect for you. Make a statement on the job site, out on the town, or wherever life leads you in the powerful and distinctive Sierra 1500, or elevate your driving experience in the adventurous and innovative Canyon. Explore our inventory online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com or visit our indoor showroom today. Woodhouse Buick GMC. We are professional grade.
Ramona's Mexican restaurant is a North Omaha original on 30th Street. Everything you've loved about Ramona's is still the way you remember. Nachos, the works, the popular deep fried burrito, that beast of a cheeseburger, and don't forget those cinnamon chips. They offer indoor and outdoor seating, fresh margaritas and cocktails, plus a convenient walk-up window. And if you buy a Ramona's t-shirt, they'll take 20% off your bill when you wear your t-shirt. Just north of 30th Street in historic Florence. Come check them out today.
Hey everyone, Josh and John here for the FanDuel Sportsbook. Santa Barkley is coming to town, and he is delivering $20 million in gifts this holiday season to all FanDuel customers. It does not matter if you've been naughty like John or nice like me. St. Chuck has something for everyone. And if you are new to FanDuel, it is the perfect time to sign up. And remember, John, to use our promo code 1620, whether it's same game parlays or more.
This app is always easy to use, FanDuel is. They're always hooking you up with great promotions. And when you win, you get paid instantly. The app's safe and secure. There's live betting. Don't forget, we're also in bowl season now, so there's more games to pick, especially during the week. College basketball, NBA, NHL, it's all right there. So see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Get in the holiday spirit with $20 million in gifts from Santa Barkley. 21 plus in President Iowa. Prize total dependent on customer participation. Wage requirements apply. Gift awarded is non-withdrawable site credit or free bets. See FanDuel.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Hello, friends. Kent Pavelka wishing everyone happy holidays and best wishes for the new year from John Higgins Weather Guard. You know, we're fortunate to live in such a great community with a strong economy, good schools, and public service, along with a high level of health care and simply a great way of life. We appreciate everyone who's done business with us, and we look forward to meeting new customers in the new year. Happy holidays from your fans, the rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard, America's leading installer of Da Vinci roofs.
Now back to mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone.
All right, 2 more hours to go before we turn out the lights for 2022. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. However you celebrate with your loved ones. We hope you have a wonderful holiday season. Just a reminder, we're not back until the 3rd of January. On cue, our discussion about bowls, because the viewership is up. There might not be butts in seats, but people are watching, and that's all that matters to ESPN, which owns bowls, or you have to go out and get sponsorship. You can sell them. Hey, the ratings for television, people are seeing your impressions. The Boca Raton Bowl between Toledo and Liberty.
Okay.
Remember that? It was historic.
Yeah. Oh, the grandmother of all.
Now, you would think a bowl game played in Boca Raton. Lovely community there, north of Miami and Fort Lauderdale.
I've enjoyed Boca.
You would probably get the over 60 crowd.
Yeah.
Now,
A lot of white shoes.
Now, there were not a lot of people there.
A lot of Velcro
Which is too bad.
shoes.
There's a very unique stadium. Like, in the top row, you can see the ocean.
Yeah.
When you sit in the top row at FAU. According to Showbuzz Daily, it was the #1 cable broadcast with adults under 50 on Tuesday.
Wow.
All right. Coming together, young and old.
Who are these people watching long enough that you are in the ratings?
Wait, what was going on in the world? Was it cold yet? Was it like
no.
Was it blanket cold? No, it wasn't.
It was still tropical 30 degrees.
Because this is where the lack of day games this week is really going to affect viewership. Because everyone wants to be inside right now.
You needed it yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
What was the competition on Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Zelensky talking to the joint sessions of Congress. Is
That was
it?
at night.
Yeah.
That was at 6:30, and that could have been sponsored too.
Yeah. That wasn't a huge basketball night either.
No. Speaking of Boca, I remember on their basketball court, I don't know if it's the same at the stadium, but it does say on their court how many miles to the beach. 1.8. They like to remind you that they're in paradise.
I need to get to more Florida venues. I've never been.
I will say, because I have somebody who I carry a little bit of their DNA, lives there, we'd all be the youngest people there. I'm just telling you. Very nice place.
Even
but
better.
Yeah.
No.
It's I've my times there haven't seen as we should say some youngsters running
a
around.
lot
youngsters.
Of Frank Costanzas.
A lot of our mom and dad's money is running around Boca. Yes.
Phase 3, Del Boca Vista.
But there's a part of that city like is really, really, really like retirement.
Yeah.
And then there's another part like they're trying to build up. Like they have a big tennis center there in Boca.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to like build up to get a younger crowd. But I mean, people can't afford to live there.
Yeah.
That's where all of our money's going, kids.
Trying to get the whippersnappers
our
out
mom
there.
and dad, instead of leaving money to us, are spending on homes
Yeah.
in the state of Florida.
Well, they won't be out this weekend, though. It's supposed to be even in the 50s down there. Could be, I think it was a 56 at kickoff in Miami for the Packers and Dolphins.
That was the internal struggle that George had. Inherit a lot of money or not have to worry about his parents living in New York. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to make up for the Festivus thing.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to come
Just
back
want
from
you
that.
to know that I know that I lived Seinfeld, man.
Hey, wasn't the Boca Raton Bowl was at night. Wasn't it? Wasn't in the day.
Yeah, because
okay.
the Idaho Bowl was the Potato Bowl. The Potato Bowl was earlier.
So their competition was the Paul Simon thing, and whatever the battle at the vault where they locked everybody out down in Lincoln.
Oh, there you go.
that's what happened. The battle at the vault. They forgot.
Lincoln was tuned in to
the
Boca.
combination. They forgot the combination of the vault. They couldn't let anybody in.
Like the numbers for this are like actually kind of impressive. That many people be watching the bowl game.
Liberty's always a must.
That's the last game of the season. Brett.
So here was.
What do you got?
Well, I'm trying to. What is the Curse of Oak Island that was on the History Channel? That actually did well.
I don't know, but I'm intrigued now.
Fox News does really well.
Especially in
they
Boca.
do really well. But whatever the Curse of Oak Island was, competed against the Boca Raton Bowl.
It's the Curse of Oak
and the doubleheader on TNT did pretty well as well.
You got me intrigued now. What was the Curse of Oak Island?
Not many people watching First Take, by the way. But the Boca Raton Bowl was the number one in the under 50 crowd.
Mary and Alex Lagina travel to England where they make stunning new connections between the Oak Island mystery and the Knights Templar that support. And then it cuts off. There's a little brief synopsis there.
It looks like younger people were not into that. Older people were into the 50 plus. They did a 1.86 rating, which is pretty good.
Nice.
So they must
Curse
like
of Oak Island?
Oak Island.
Okay. So
I would watch if the Loch Ness Monster and the Bigfoot were on the Oak Island. If they're not, then I'm not watching.
That's the island. That's that island. Yeah.
You know what also was
But
really
not
you know
Love
what else
Island.
was really popular on that Tuesday? This past Tuesday? Little People Big World on TLC.
Hey, all right. That kind of ties back into what we were talking about yesterday.
Was it what's the name? Coda?
I seriously do not watch enough TV. There are programs here I've never heard of outside of the sports world that just from the title, I think I might need to watch.
Lay a couple on me.
I Am Shauna Ray.
Don't know what that is.
Bermuda Triangle was on.
Like a documentary.
House Hunters. The Black Ink Crew.
Heard of House Hunters?
Christmas Wars was on A&E.
Okay.
It appears to be a lot here.
Don't know what that is.
The Oval.
No.
Fixer to Fabulous. House Hunters, which I've watched.
Another like fixer-upper show?
Real Time Crime.
At one of the houses.
None of them can compete with the Boca Raton Bowl.
Nope.
That huge
How
audience
about
from
that?
Toledo and Liberty.
Good for you, Liberty.
I know why the
I know
viewers.
you lost.
And here's a reason probably why the viewership is up. You can gamble. There's
Hey,
more legalized
yes.
gambling across the country, and so I'm going to watch.
Promo code zone.
I mean, I'll be honest. I like to gamble, but I also want to watch the game I'm gambling on.
Yeah.
And I'm going to find a way to watch that game. So if I'm gambling on that bowl game, I'm going to find a way that I can watch the game. And when you gamble on a game, and it adds more interest to it, you're probably more prone to watch that. So I would say that's probably a little bit of viewership ratings being up around bowl games, which you have no idea who's playing in or where it's at or what it's called these days.
By the way,
which
Brett,
is kind of a direct result of here is, Nebraska's played in one legit bowl game in 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't pay attention to the bowl matchups. Like Brett McMurphy every Monday sends out his matchups. Nebraska's not even in the mix. I'm not paying attention.
This was the first year I paid attention in, about 13 years.
No, usually that Monday after all the bowl matchups are finalized, I'm sifting through them.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even start paying really much attention to the matchups until I started doing my confidence pool.
Yeah, it's watered down. I'm sorry. It's too much, and the lack of interest.
But more football is better than less football.
Well,
So
yeah.
don't take them away.
There's always that. Like I said earlier, can you restructure the bowl system? Yeah. Do I know exactly how or have any great ideas? No, because you're always going to run into one of the major problems. Even now with an expanded playoff, staying out of that playoff, there's going to be a trickle-down effect.
All right. 2 more hours to go. It is halftime. The band's about to take the field. We will get Brett on.
He did text. Yeah. He mixed up his weeks, thought we were off this week and not next week. So he's ready to go.
We'll get him coming up at 8:30 on Mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com with Gary Sharp and Nick Handley. Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton Heating, AC, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center, crash at US 75 and I-80 westbound has the right lane blocked. Make sure you keep left. And at Highway 75 northbound, closed at the Chandler exit. Traffic is backing up. Plan your reroute accordingly. The good news, the earlier crash at I-680 at 31st Mormon Bridge that had the right lane blocked is cleared. All lanes now open. Otherwise, light traffic for your morning commute as we head into the holiday weekend. There's still some slippery road conditions, so use caution.
This time-saving traffic was brought to you by the Nebraska Lottery.
The Nebraska Lottery has raised over $893 million, which has helped to provide more than 117,000 college scholarships, save wildlife habitats across the state, and fund new facilities at the Nebraska State Fair. The Nebraska Lottery, helping to build a better Nebraska.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call in the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
With almost everything in life, you have choices. You can pick a lot, a little, or somewhere in the middle. So shouldn't there be an internet plan that's just as clever? One that allows you to add TV or home automation whenever. That's why Cox now offers flexible internet plans, giving you all the services you desire at nothing you don't require. Additional services can be added at then current regular rates. All services subject to residential customer service agreement and acceptable use policy found at cox.com/policies. Restrictions apply.
42 Degrees wants to thank all our customers for making 2022 a great year. Everything, yes, everything is buy one, get one at 50% off. No exclusions. 42 Degrees, your source. Buy your mom's house.
Buy your next vehicle your way from anywhere with Woodhouse. Start your journey online at woodhouse.com. Easily shop all new and pre-owned inventory. Explore payment options and apply for financing. Ready to purchase? Schedule your new vehicle for pickup from the dealership or have it delivered to your driveway. Need a little extra help in determining your perfect vehicle? Our knowledgeable and local dealerships can guide you to the vehicle that best matches your needs. Experience car buying your way with Woodhouse, a trusted auto partner since 1975.
Last year, I enrolled my family for health care coverage through the health insurance marketplace. Do I need to enroll again?
Yes, we have seen the plans available through the marketplace change, and new options may be available. You must re-enroll for 2023 to ensure you or your family are in the right plan for your budget and needs. One World Community Health Centers in Omaha can help. Just call 402-502-8888 to set up an appointment with a team member.
I don't have health coverage, and I'm worried that if I get sick, I can't afford the medical bills. How do I get started?
Getting started is easy and free. Just call to set up an appointment with a Navigator enrollment specialist. We will explain your coverage options, answer any questions, help you enroll, and see if you qualify for financial assistance. Open enrollment is November 1st through January 15th. Re-enroll in healthcare coverage or enroll for the first time. Call One World Community Health Centers at 402-502-8888 to set up an appointment.
If you're the one who's always asked to bring plates and napkins to a party, well, do that. But bring something extra too. Bring along some of the most awesomest ice cream in the metro. Ted and Wally's. Seriously, if you bring Ted and Wally's ice cream, the pie table will be the most popular dessert location because Ted and Wally's ice cream is perfect with pies. Stop into Ted and Wally's at either their Benson or Old Market location and grab some pints or quarts. Pick up some gift cards too because stocking stuffers. Ted and Wally's Ultra Premium Ice Cream. TedandWally's.com.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. And we're back. Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Here's Gary, Nick, and Jimmy on 1620 The Zone.
Halftime brought to you by Hart Cigars and Pipes Lounge. Just off 680 and 48th Street, next to Cubby's, it's Hart Cigars and Pipes Lounge.
I think the Trans-Siberian Orchestra was, I mean, they're always in this area, November, December. I think it was before Thanksgiving that they were in Council Bluffs.
And that's where they kick off their shows every year. They prep here, then they hit the road. So they can
They are everywhere for about a 2-month stretch
Yeah.
on their winter tour.
huge like Madison Square Garden, United Center.
Saw them at the Sprint Center many times.
Is this
Whatever they call it now.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra or is this Mannheim?
This is
Steam-
Mannheim.
The Mannheim. Steam-
But
Oh.
Trans-Siberian will be coming.
Okay.
I
My
know.
bad. So I completely messed that up.
But people still go and see Mannheim.
I always got you confused all
All
the
right, so
time.
Chip Davis, Mannheim Steamroller. I apologize for all the Trans-Siberian people out there.
TSO. That's when you're really a big
TSO
fan.
Mafia.
When you refer to him as TSO.
I can't be the only person that's ever made that mistake.
No,
I always
made
mess it
that
up.
mistake.
Because I kind of thought I was off there when you said they always start here because I'm thinking Chip Davis and Mannheim Steamroller. All right.
Yeah.
So there, that's my full thought for the day.
Okay. I said USD. I meant South Dakota State in the Frisco Bowl.
You forgot
Frisco Bowl.
Festivus.
I did
yeah.
forget. Yeah, I'm on the struggle bus today.
Hey, a reminder to people on Christmas, if you're not going to stay home and you want to go out, just be kind to all the Chinese restaurant workers. Tip them.
Huh?
Oh,
What?
yeah.
What?
You don't?
Yeah.
It's
A
a
Christmas story?
no.
No.
No. Going
Chinese
to
food in a movie.
Yeah, Chinese food in a movie on Christmas Day is huge.
Why am I just now learning this? It is.
I'm not sure. Do you celebrate Christmas?
I do. We don't eat that. We don't have Christmas.
Yeah,
There's
a
Chinese
lot
food.
of friends in college, I bet. Yeah,
Really?
they do.
You want to cook on Christmas? You celebrate. You have a big blowout dinner on Christmas Eve. Christmas Day, you go to a movie and you go to a Chinese restaurant. Wow.
I didn't know. I
Chinese restaurants that are open do mega business.
Yeah. would not have thought that was the case.
Maybe this could be your thing. People think it's
That's
just
right.
like it's your backup plan if the turkey fails.
Well, yeah. I
No,
mean,
but
again,
like-
I got the movie Christmas Story.
Like Christmas is a huge Chinese restaurant place. So be kind, tip accordingly.
Do we know who's open? Is that a Sarah Baker Hansen question?
I've no idea.
Hmm.
I would call ahead or go on Yelp or whatever website you will go on.
There are two that I go to more than any other ones. And I don't think either one of them would be open, but I might be wrong on that.
I
Just assume
remember
they're closed.
our friend the Hype Man gave me a couple recommendations when he was in here a couple months ago, and he gave me pizza recommendation. He's been pretty good, so you might want to hit him up on Twitter.
Zach gave you a pizza and a Chinese recommendation?
Yeah.
That's very random.
Yeah.
Is a good Chinese, like a Chinese restaurant, and a lot of it can be sort of your neighborhood area. Is that one of those restaurants that you do not stray from? Like you're not, well, like I love this one, but I'm gonna go try the other one like down the road. Or I feel like that's one you really lean into. That's the go-to. You don't betray that one. Because when you find a good Chinese restaurant that fits your taste, I'm good. I'm sold. I don't need to search anymore.
No, it's true. When we moved up here, that was actually one of the things we talked about. We got to find a new place.
Yeah.
Like we redo everything.
I mean, there's good ones. There's ones that are like, okay, yeah, if you're in the area and you're just, craving Chinese food, oh yeah, I'll go there. But if you're at home and you're getting Chinese food, that's the one you're going to.
Yeah. And then they know your name.
Yeah, you don't stray from it. I don't think ours is open. I'd be curious now.
So you'd be cheating on the Chinese?
No, I wouldn't. If ours is open,
it's an idea.
I'd consider it.
It's a big Christmas is a big day.
I feel like I'm missing out on
Chinese
something.
restaurants.
Get a good meal from them, and listen to John and Robbie.
What movie would I see?
Well, that's
Isn't Babylon going to be out by then?
I'm not watching
Which
Avatar.
just appears to be off.
Avatar. You get a nap.
Babylon appears to be off the wall. Just craziness.
Doesn't really do anything for me.
You might want to ask Josh during the crossover. He'll give you some great tips. That's where I'd go for my movie recommendations.
Okay. Noted.
Brett Ciancia is coming up at the bottom of the hour. Mike Schaefer, Matt Verzal as well. Last night, Creighton won their first game in a month. They beat Butler. They play on Christmas Day. So you can go to, I got your day plan. You've got Chinese restaurant, or go to a movie early, like 10 a.m., then go to a Chinese restaurant and go to the Creighton game. They play at 3:30 against DePaul. But Creighton won last night. Ryan Kalkbrenner returned, had 19. They look better on defense, the pace, the cutting, all of that stuff. Now they have to make a decision on what to do, how Sharif Mitchell fits into all of this, who did not play last night, battling an ankle injury, had not practiced. He is day to day. But they needed a win. They got a win last night. Nebraska needs an offensive lineman. They may get one at some point today. Ben Scott, transfer from Arizona State. His mom said he's coming to Nebraska. Ben said, I'll wait until today to announce what he is going to do. So I'm sure
heard
that
it
is
on
coming.
Facebook first.
Yeah, well, his mom, Renee, who I do not know.
I know the family name.
Rambor?
Yeah, Rambor.
Is that a popular name in Columbus where she is from?
It is. I don't know if it's a nephew, but a very good, at least one wrestler, if not two wrestlers.
The kid looks like a Nebraska offensive lineman because he's decked out in a Cabela's hoodie.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's drinking milk.
Either that or a white Russian.
Going all Jeff Lebowski.
Yeah, he might be going dude on us. I don't know.
But she put on Facebook, just happened, Ben is a Husker.
Yeah.
Ben said, I'll announce, and probably then had some speaks with Mom.
Mom!
Keep it quiet!
It might just be, Mom. The typical mom. Because maybe she does. She just gets overexcited. We were going to vet if she has spilled the beans or, has jumped the gun on any other major announcements with family. We have yet to make that determination.
So at some point, that's going to happen today. But it's going to be a letdown now because Mom's already stolen his thunder.
Yeah.
I hate when Mom does that.
Like, yeah, we already knew, but way to go, man.
So all of that to come before we're out of here. And again, we're off. The whole station is really off until the 3rd of January.
Got best ofs next week. Finishing
most
that
of
up today.
Most of them are crossovers, right?
For us, they'll be. We're taking a unique spin with us. We're
because we basically have what?
We have 2 weeks. We have a week and a half. So we're having some stuff from the first week and a half, but then there's some crossovers mixed in. Lots of stripper talk, some Ask Us Anything. So yeah.
How far back do we go? Because there are some epic crossovers that I vividly recall from last spring. Are we using any of those?
No. We go as far back as December 12th.
See what happens, Nick, when you don't work here. They just forget about you.
But next year, look out. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it makes my job easier because I don't have to comb through 10 months of stuff. But still, we're putting the finishing touches on that, and we'll have that on next week.
Yeah, so don't call trying to get on the air. There's no one going to be here to answer the phone.
You guys never pick up the phone. You never take my calls.
There is also a debate. Eddie on Twitter, on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed, would like feedback because he is strolling into work where he will be as he says, he will be gifted a popcorn tin once again from a company that he is now finishing his 11th year with. I sense some anger in this tweet.
That there's a gift that keeps giving the whole week.
He said, thoughts on the popcorn tin?
Wait, where's the popcorn tin from? Is it Garrett's?
I have no idea.
If it's a Garrett's popcorn tin, that's not bad. That's not bad. That requires a little effort to get that, and it's a good combination if you're getting the caramel and cheddar.
Is it a fireable offense if you're at a party like a office party and they do put out the popcorn tin that is separated into 3 different popcorns? You got the cheese, you got the caramel, and you got the regular popcorn. That just to be a total jerk, or a big fan of what they do on Nuts on Clark.
Mm-hmm.
Stopped at Nuts on Clark in the Midway or O'Hare.
That's the rival to Garrett's.
Where
They're
you
both
can
good.
where you can combine, you can combine the cheese and all that.
Yeah.
If you just go in and you pull out the separator. Would that be a fireable offense?
No, you should be applauded for taking the party up a notch.
Yeah.
No, I think
We're
I would
getting wild up in
I think
here.
I'd have to revert to violence if somebody did that because I'm not a cheese popcorn person. Even though on the power rankings,
Me either.
I think cheese popcorn is making a comeback. I'm a caramel guy, and then I would go with the regular butter, and then the cheese I would leave for somebody else. But I understand that cheese popcorn is very popular. But I would just to be, from the jerk store, I would go in and pull out the divider.
So you're doing it just to create havoc, not because this is what you prefer.
I want chaos.
It's gonna have a little variety.
You're a habitual line stepper.
I don't like to stay in our, in our little silos. Why not mix everything together? We should
So
Why
all
not
be
go
together.
4 and 5 wide? Yeah.
Have you done the caramel cheddar popcorn combination? Like you mentioned, Nuts on Clark Garrett's. That's the Garrett's special too. Because I don't like caramel popcorn that much. Cheddar popcorn's okay. For some reason, the two together it's beautiful. But you got to have them together. You get a little bit of caramel, get a little cheddar in one handful. And it's great. I can't explain
And
it.
not munchies related?
I don't like things on my fingers.
Then scoop it. Take a spoon.
So no Cheetos?
I'm not.
Get a big scooper.
Who scoops in
I
a
don't know.
popcorn tin?
Nobody, but why do you care?
First of all, you have to trust everybody you work with. Everybody is putting their paws in there.
Well, these are the problems when you have a communal bowl. This is the risk you run. You know that going in, though. You accept that risk.
But the response to the tweet, I'm sorry. I would think if you've been at a place for 11 years, they should give you more than a yearly popcorn tin.
Yeah.
Is it a reusable tin?
Right.
Where it makes a nice little display?
Do you know if they purchased it from the Boy Scouts? Because I know that was a popular thing, too. Going door to door, selling popcorn tin for $40.
And then you resell it, the candy bar, and a wreath.
Mm-hmm.
Candy bar with the almonds in it?
Yeah, that we all sold. I think every person that does fundraisers in America has at one point tried to hawk the candy bars.
Yeah.
I had a friend who set up
something with them.
She set up her daughter right outside a dispensary. Made a killing.
Oh, brilliant idea.
Oh, absolutely.
Brilliant
That
idea.
is a good idea.
Did it again for Girl Scout cookies. Blew everyone away.
Did you guys all sell a version of a caramello? Because I know we had a caramello. But it wasn't the caramello, but it was a version of like the caramello. So you had your basic chocolate, you had your chocolate and almonds, and then you had a caramello.
I don't think I did.
No, we didn't. We did also the coupon books. That was a big one.
Yeah, I just got out of fundraising days before the coupon books became a thing.
We would do the coupon books. That was a big thing. And then I think my dad felt bad for me, so he just bought them all.
Well, it's a competition. Did you guys have like major prizes you could win? Or was it just funding like a trip or
Yeah,
something?
it was. You know what? You got a personal pizza party. I remember one year.
Those are the little pan, yeah.
Now we're getting into the book it days, and that could take another 2 hours.
Or the hat with the 2 drink thingy.
What, the beer foam dispenser ones?
Yeah. Well, that's what it became eventually.
Oh, it was supposed to be for something else?
Well, it's third grade. I mean, it's planting the seeds for future fun.
Why is that even an option for a third grader?
Y'all in Texas, hello.
Yeah.
Start a little bit early there,
Exactly.
Huh?
A little shiner.
Yeah.
Would you go a little Modelo?
Hey, you get the holiday cheer going.
I'll just go. Just
no Lone Star.
Skip the. Yeah, I was gonna say Lone Star. Just skip the middleman and go Tito's.
Yeah.
Now I feel bad for that's all you got is you've been there for 11 years and they give you a popcorn.
That is that's weak.
I give them a watch or like a gift certificate or cash.
Mm-hmm. One of those.
Instead, they give you a popcorn tin.
Christmas bonus.
Jack Daniel's gift set.
Is that worse than a jelly of the month?
Yeah, I would quit.
Yeah. I'd actually rather have the jelly because it is the gift that keeps on giving the whole year.
Not as much of a jelly guy.
Well, I just looked on his profile. I see where he actually has kind of where he works.
Oh, yeah?
Well, that is, I think, a Fortune 500 company here in Omaha.
So it's kind of a slap in the face.
Frank Shirley, come on, do better.
Hey, Christmas popcorn tin. There would be like money at the bottom of that popcorn. But yeah, I was
gonna have a big bow on
him. If we had like a display here and we had a popcorn tin, I would just do a drive-by and I would walk in, grab the divider, everything comes together. You're on your own, folks.
I would welcome it.
Variety is the spice of life.
I would too.
I would welcome it.
Got to be different. Got to think outside of the box.
Do you know who did this? Nope. Not a clue.
It's a great idea. I've never thought about having it mixed. Okay, you've never been to Garrett's or Nuts on Clark. That's like their specialty.
Live a
You
little.
can mix them.
Think about any Christmas party you've ever been to, though, and they've had the popcorn with the dividers. Have you ever taken any of the popcorn out? Is that the one thing that usually remains full and untouched? Because I can honestly say I've never, nor ever seen it.
It depends on where the placement is. Is it a standalone? Is it near something else that's popular?
How drunk are you?
Well, that does come into play.
Because it does start looking pretty good.
Yeah, everything looks good. Yeah. That comes into play.
Everything.
Brett Ciancia will join us. His thoughts on we'll get him on the playoff because we will not have him on again until right before the championship game. So we get his thoughts and also what he thought about recruiting and some of the Jimbo Fisher stuff. You love the SEC. They have coach on coach crime. Jimbo Fisher is whining. Remember, he had the number 1 recruiting class, and then he just had the 14th recruiting class, and he's wondering why. Jimbo, 951-1620, and we can have some speaks. But Lane Kiffin, who if you are not good in your Twitter game, Lane Kiffin will crush you. And Lane Kiffin tweeted at Jimbo Fisher yesterday. Hello. Game on in the SEC, as it always is. Brett's coming up next. Mike Schaefer, Matt Verzal as well on 1620 The Zone. Hey, Santa Barkley is back, and this year he's giving new FanDuel customers exactly what you asked for. Unwrap the gift of a no-sweat first bet up to $2,500 back in free bets when you sign up with promo code ZONE. That's up to $2,500 back if your first bet doesn't win. Now is the perfect time to give FanDuel a shot. The app is easy to use. They're always giving you great promotions, and when you win, you'll get paid instantly. All you have to do right now for America's #1 sportsbook is sign up. Holiday spirit. No sweat first bet up to $2,500 back in free bets from Santa Barkley when you sign up with promo code ZONE. It's easy to remember. ZONE. 21 over, present Iowa. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Gary Sharp, Nick Handley, and Jimmy Chavez. Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Weekdays 6 to 10. On 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com. Mornings on 1620 The Zone is brought to you by MD West One Orthopedics, Neurosurgery, and Spine. The Connor Happer Show.
Matt Rule has quote tweeted himself and did a king hat. What's a king hat called? Josh,
it's a crown.
What's a crown and a flame, a fire emoji. Are you sure that's what it is? A crown, not a king hat.
The Connor Happer Show. Weekdays from 10 to 2 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from a Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Dangerously cold Friday with a high today near 2 degrees, but at the warmest, feeling like -21. A wind chill warning remains in effect throughout the day Friday with northwesterly winds up to 40 miles an hour. Otherwise, mostly to partly cloudy today, becoming partly cloudy to mostly clear tonight. Extremely cold, feeling like 27 below zero. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KCV Newswatch 7.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley, brought to you by MD West One Orthopedics, Neurosurgery, and Spine on 1620 The Zone.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burden AC Heating, Plumbing, and More time-saving traffic center. We have multiple accidents to report, starting with one along eastbound I-80 at L Street that has 2 right lanes blocked. Then there's also an accident that has the left lane blocked along westbound Dodge at I-680. And there's also an accident on the left shoulder of I-80 East between South 50th and 42nd Streets near exit 451. So please be cautious if you are in those areas. Then northbound along the JFK, there's going to be 2 accidents, starting with one near exit 452 at I-80 and I-480. And then there is an accident at Chandler Road that's going to be backed up all the way to Gregg Road, where you can expect delays of up to 5 minutes in that area. As always, remember to stay safe and wear your seatbelts. I'm Chris Scott. This time-saving traffic was brought to you by Omaha's Children's Museum.
This holiday season, give the gift of play at Omaha Children's Museum. Now through the end of the year, save $25 when you give the gift of membership with the Omaha Children's Museum. Visit ocm.org for more information.
Email unsportsmanlike conduct on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox with whatever is on your mind, from your hot takes to what you think is one. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Creighton Sports Update.
Give the gift of Creighton basketball this holiday season. Creighton men's basketball is back at CHI Health Center on Christmas Day this Sunday as they host the DePaul Blue Demons. Tip-off is set for 3:30 p.m. Limited tickets are still available online at gocreighton.com/tickets. That's Creighton versus DePaul this Sunday at 3:30 p.m. And that's your Creighton Sports Update.
1620 The Zone proudly supports Creighton Athletics.
42 Degrees wants to thank all our customers for making 2022 a great year. Everything, yes, everything is buy one, get one at 50% off. No exclusions. 42 Degrees, your source by your mom's house.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Thinking about gas mileage? If your check engine light is on, it may be affecting your MPGs, but the free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help. With the most complete free warning light report backed by technician-verified fixes, you'll know what's affecting your gas mileage and more, and you don't have to drive too far to find the fix. The free AutoZone Fix Finder service is available at all 6,200 stores.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
See details at AutoZone.com.
If you're the one who's always asked to bring plates and napkins to a party, well, do that. But bring something extra too. Bring along some of the most awesomest ice cream in the metro. Ted and Wally's. Seriously, if you bring Ted and Wally's ice cream, the pie table will be the most popular dessert location because Ted and Wally's ice cream is perfect with pies. Stop into Ted and Wally's at either their Benson or Old Market location and grab some pints or quarts. Pick up some gift cards too because stocking stuffers, Ted and Wally's Ultra Premium Ice Cream. TedandWally's.com.
There are actually 2 kinds of cigars. The first is the one you smoke with beloved family and friends. The second, the one you enjoy with friends you've just met. And you'll find both at Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge. At Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, there's a the best bands from around the world and a bar with your favorite cocktails and other drinkables. So what do you say? Which cigar will you be enjoying tonight? Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, just off I-680 and 48th Street next to Cubby's.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Rooferees. Now back to mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone.
Our next guest, who has a connection to Jersey, Brett Sianson from Pick Six Previews. If you'd like to just sing along, I mean, go ahead. I'm not going to stop you.
Yeah, I like the South Jersey connection there, the Jersey Shore connection with Bruce Springsteen coming in. But yeah, happy holidays, Merry Christmas to all the listeners and to you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, we'll get your thoughts on the playoff, but I know you pay close attention to what happened on Wednesday. And for people that don't understand our passion for college football, they think like Wednesday is a weird tradition where we spend an entire day like praising or some criticize 17 to 18-year-olds on the biggest decision of their life. But National Signing Day, it's great for high school players. Now we see the portal, lifelong dreams, all of that stuff comes true. And it's an important part of college football. With that said, there are teams that did really well. There are other teams that kind of recruited below expectations. I want to start at the top because Nick Saban arguably is coming off, I don't know, his worst season. They don't make the SEC championship game. They don't make the playoff. They didn't have any major signature wins. But, oh, by the way, he went and signed 6 5-stars. 13 of his 27 are ranked in the top 75 players in the country. Did Nick Saban just remind us once again that he is still king?
Yeah, absolutely. It was, a return to what we're used to with Alabama number one. Of course, last year Jimbo Fisher won the battle with A&M signing class, and I know that was irritating Saban for the last 365 days. And here you go, he takes back the top spot. I think the main message from Alabama this year was NFL over NIL. Of course, last year the big wave was all about the NIL deals, and A&M was king there. But we saw the A&M product on the field. It was 5-7. It was transfers. It was the whole bit, suspensions. With Alabama, it's the same mode. You're going to see them filling up the first round and second round on NFL draft day. So I think he returned to that pitch, the NFL pipeline pitch, and secured the top class. One of Saban's best classes ever, which is saying something.
Well, and with Saban's day, did you also maybe get the sense that Dan Lanning was the source of a lot of other coaches' frustration with the day that Oregon had too?
Oh my gosh! If I see another dunk emoji on Twitter, right? He's flowing on Twitter. Congrats, Dan Lanning, a young guy. I think he identified with a lot of recruits that way. Comes from the SEC, of course, came from the Georgia staff that signed the top class. So has some roots in the top recruiting game. So bringing that to the West Coast is huge. They were the West Coast champ, even though USC has a lot of momentum. Utah signed a school record class, but even that wasn't high enough to reach Oregon. So. Yeah, Oregon reloading up there. It's a new caliber of athlete that they're starting to stockpile.
Hey, let me ask you, there's a lot about perception. And last year, Texas A&M, Brett, had the number one class. And the reaction was, well, Jimbo cheated. He didn't really cheat. He had money to spend, and so he spent a lot of money. Mario Cristobal comes along and puts together a giant class for Miami. And we immediately say, oh, he's a great recruiter, even though we know Miami has a lot of NIL money. How do you balance the Jimbo Fisher reaction to the Mario Cristobal reaction?
Yeah, it's very strange. I agree because both guys have track records as good recruiters. I mean, Jimbo Fisher, when he took over at A&M, they had never signed back-to-back top 10 classes in school history. He did it 4 years in a row. Before that number one overall. So he laid the groundwork there and executed with a top class. And same with Mario Cristobal. He recruited really well up at Oregon. Not quite this Dan Lanning level, but still a solid top 15, top 10 recruiter. And then, look at where these schools are based. I mean, we forget how important geography is. Miami is located there in South Beach. You can walk 10 minutes around the block and find all these 5-stars. So credit to Mario for locking down the in-state talent, something that they had failed to do the last couple of staff. Same with Fisher last year, being in West Texas or even just in Texas with A&M. Another high school recruiting hotbed. So, I'm not one of the conspiracy guys. I think that they're all kind of doing the same thing behind the scenes, but just credit these guys where they have their wins.
Is it unfair, Brett, to maybe label USC's day, and maybe there's still more to come as we get into February Sunday, as sort of underwhelming, just given Lincoln Riley, California getting ready to make the jump to the Big Ten in a couple of years too? Like it didn't really have a lot of the same maybe sizzle that we expected?
Well, I think it's important nowadays. I've started looking more at the average recruit rating rather than the overall class. The overall class size weighs in how many kids you sign. And some of these schools have different approaches year to year with how many transfers you're taking, how many guys are, opting out, or how many guys are coming back. And it's no longer the usual, everyone signs 25 guys. It's more fluid. So when you look at USC, their average player rating is higher than most. I think that they're 15th overall, but if you look at their average recruit signing, I think they move into the top 10. 3 5-stars. I think that's second most behind Texas and Alabama. So, I think it's a solid class. I think that their main headlines come in the transfer portal under Riley. So you might see more of those fireworks coming.
Why? And speaking of the portal, and he lives in the portal. Why do you think Lane Kiffin likes the portal guys more than the high school guys?
Yeah, it's a great point. I mean, he dubbed himself the Portal King. He gave himself a nickname. Usually I'm against self-proclaimed nicknames, but he went out and proved it. He certainly proved it last year with the number 2 overall transfer class. So, why do you think he prefers? I mean, maybe you get to see those guys a year or two of actual college film. They come out a little bit more proven at the next level. Of course, 4 and 5 stars in high school, they've, of course, proven themselves too, but not on the college game, not on Saturdays, not through spring ball, fall camps. So maybe through his coaches networks at the lower levels and other Power 5 programs, he's able to get a better feel for these players at the next level. That's my guess.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's also incoming too. I think that with especially the offensive skill players, they want to go play for a fun offense like Lane Kiffin. And you saw that with Purdue with Jeff Brom, and you see this with Lane Kiffin. So if a guy loses a spring ball battle, say he's QB2 somewhere or wide receiver 3 or something, and Ole Miss has an opening, it's a destination spot for these guys.
Yeah, and, kind of going back to last year, too, where we saw both NIL transfer portal kind of, really hit each other head on as far as the transition that a lot of student athletes were making. I think it was only natural we're going to see more activity this year. And this being one of the first times I've had a chance to talk with you, because I know people have different thoughts on this. I mean, do you feel like there's going to be a peak, and maybe we haven't even reached that yet, and then we sort of see it kind of stabilize a little bit when it comes to sort of the fluidity of this situation? Or do you think this is just always going to be, a major increase when it comes to the attrition that programs are dealing with NIL and the transfer portal kind of now, really off and running?
Yeah, great question. I think we've kind of hit the breaking point. I don't know how much more of these rosters can go. It's I forget the number. It's something 1,000 plus, 2,000 plus kids are already in the portal. I don't know how sustainable it is. And I think, I'm all for player movement. I think that if something happens, they should be able to transfer colleges. I just think that some of these athletes might look back in the mirror and think, was it worth transferring 3-4 times? I mean, I think when you look at an overall college experience, what it really is that. I mean, think of JT Daniels, for example,
right.
4 schools in 4 years. I mean, looking back, does he have lasting friendships? Does he have connections with the coaches he played for? Does he have, allegiance to the college towns? And I don't know. So I wonder. I think the NFL will find you if you're an NFL player for the most part. So it's all about what kind of college experience you want to have. And I understand maybe transferring once because maybe a coach left that you love playing for or something. But some of these serial transfer guys, I wonder really what that experience is like. So maybe over time that starts to go out of style.
Brett Ciancia from Pick Six Previews. You have developed a little affinity for Nebraska, and our listening audience has treated you well, and you enjoyed your time here. So we thought we would come to you. This is one of the rare times Nebraska goes into Philadelphia and gets 2 players. They get Elijah Judy, who transfers from Texas A&M, and Ramir Stewart, who is from one of the better football-playing high schools in Philadelphia. We know Matt Rule with his connection to Philadelphia being at Temple. What are the prospects of Nebraska making inroads, you think, in the Philadelphia area, in that part of Pennsylvania, not Western PA, over by Pittsburgh, but by where you're at, that guys could leave that area and come to Nebraska because of Matt Rule?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. I think that with Nebraska being located where they are, of course, they want to lock down the home state, and I saw they had success with that, bringing Coleman back. That's a great first sign. I think then you branch out to that 500. It might sound funny, but this is still the Big Ten footprint. You have Penn State, you have Rutgers, Maryland, so you can compete out here with an in-conference kind of deal. But with Ramir Stewart, coming out of Imhotep, that's one of the best programs in PA. I mean, they're continually playing for state titles. coming out of inner city Philadelphia. I saw that he signed a guy out of Central Dauphin East. That's out there kind of in Central PA, right near where Micah Parsons played. It's at District 3 football. It's great football out there. And I think he signed a Jersey guy out of Palmyra. The last Jersey guy he signed was a track star, Ramir Johnson from North Jersey, from Bergen County. So yeah, it's good football out here. It's kind of you gotta seek it out, but there are pockets of great football out here. So it's cool to see a national team come in like that. And yeah, maybe there's some openings because West Virginia has been on the rocks a little bit. Maryland kind of disappointed this year. And then Rutgers hasn't really panned out under Greg Schiano like we thought. So this area is up for grabs. So, and I think also real quick with Matt Rule specifically, kids remember what he did at Temple, and they remember some of the players he turned pros. I think Hassan Reddick, I think he's a Temple guy. He's currently a star for the Eagles this year, Philadelphia Eagles. So kids around here, they know the name. I mean, they see him being an NFL guy. They know it didn't pan out, but still an impressive name. And I think you listen when someone like that talks. So, yeah, credit Matt Rule. And one last thing also I liked was him bringing in, I think it was Bob Wager, the Texas high school coach. You see that working wonders at Texas Tech. They just signed their best class in school history with Joey McGuire. He's really high up with the Texas high school coaches. So a really good move so far by Rule.
Brett, before we talk college football playoff, I want to go New Year's Six game. For you in particular, more intrigued with Bama K-State or the Rose Bowl between Utah and Penn State? Minus the granddaddy of them all and the tradition and everything,
Oh, of course. Well, I would have normally picked Utah Penn State, but I think we're going to get hit with the opt-outs there, I think, and injuries too. Some of Utah's best players are out that game. Joey Porter Jr. for Penn State is out. So I'm going to go with this Bama Kansas State because it's kind of on two different levels. I mean, of course, the actual matchup's impressive. But then you talk about the recruiting profiles of these teams. Alabama has 80 4- and 5-star players. Kansas State has 3. So this is the old, 5-star heart versus 5-star culture versus 5-star players. I'm really intrigued to see it. Kansas State, they did it all year. I mean, this is one of the most improved teams. Game grader, my formula loves Kansas State, both the offense and the defense, great grades. Will Howard, also a local PA guy here from Downingtown, really balling out there. So I want to see that. I want to see the no stars versus the 5 stars. And I think Kansas State can compete. No opt-outs in that one either, so you've seen the full strength.
Now let's shift to the semifinals. How does an offense at TCU with Max Duggan and a talented wide receiver and a really good running back, so guys that kind of fly under the radar, how does TCU make hay against that Michigan defense?
Yeah, well, I can't wait for this one. I think that the line right away is way too high. It came out at 10.5. I loved it then. I still like it at 7.5. I have this more as a pick 'em. I think TCU is legit. Yeah, they're going to have to rely on their chunk plays on offense, and they've done that all year. So I have no doubt they're going to get their chunk plays. You're going to have your explosive runs by Max Duggan, both scrambles and in designed run plays. The running backs are great. They've been explosive too. Quentin Johnson is awesome receiver out there, big frame. He's going to win his one-on-ones. The question I have is the other side of the ball and if they can contain Michigan's offense. And people always think of Michigan as the strong defense, but statistically, it's a very efficient offense per play. I mean, they get it done both in the run game and the air. So, I think if they could take a page from Ohio State's strategy, and rather than sell out and try and stop the run at the line, you're overexposed in the long yardage play. Make Michigan earn it. Make them earn it in 8 to 10 yard chunks down the field consistently. I don't think they can do that.
Well, and Brett, with what you just said right there, J.J. McCarthy, I mean, are you 100%, if this guy, if there's moments in this game that he has to deliver and maybe make a big play or two, that he's going to be ready for this moment?
Well, here's the thing. I credit him for proving me wrong last time against Ohio State. I didn't think that he had it in him. But when you watch that game back, I mean, these guys, it was really the skill guys got wide open. And it was some of that defensive scheme, like I said, where they were selling out, trying to stop the run at the line of scrimmage. And then if you don't hit home, there's wide open runners. So, and credit, yes, he hit those wide open guys, but I don't know if that's sustainable. So in a head-to-head matchup, I trust Max Duggan a lot more. I'm going to go with them and go with them to beat Michigan in the first round.
Wow. All right. Major upset, TCU over Michigan. Who will they be playing for the national championship game?
Yeah, this one too. I mean, I think this is more of a toss-up too because how often do we see out of this playoff break, this 4 or 5 week break from the end of the regular season all the way out to the playoff? These teams come out of the break looking a lot different, and that's good and bad. It's just, especially these big recruiters like Georgia and Ohio State, where it's all these young 5-stars that are just sitting there, and then they get 15 bowl practices and all this extra time in the film room. They come out looking like different teams. You see this time to time. So I don't know what to expect from either team coming out of here. I think that Ohio State's going to have a more refocused defensive plan. Throw that Michigan game plan out the window. That didn't work. And let Jim Knowles, one of the best D coordinators in America, let him, redesign a defense against Georgia. It's certainly doable. And then with Georgia, the last we saw of them, they gave up 500 passing yards to LSU. So, of course, Georgia's offense has improved from last year, but the defense has taken a slight step back. So I think this one's, like I said, more of a toss-up than we're thinking. I think everyone's just throwing Georgia automatically into the title game. Look for a battle here. Now, when it comes to making a pick, I'll go Georgia close, but I think it's going to be pretty close.
It's been a point of discussion for us of, where is Ryan Day? Where is this team at since that just, drubbing there in the fourth quarter against Michigan? Are you in the mindset that, hey, Ohio State, they got their way in, so they're kind of playing with house money and they're going to be a lot more loose, a lot more free? Or do you think there is something that remains to be seen about how Ohio State, even with the time that has passed, how they are after that Michigan loss, if they're a little bit rattled?
Yeah, well, this will fall on deaf ears to the Nebraska listeners, but hearing from Ohio State fans, and they're starting to get upset with Ryan Day. They say the hot seat is coming and all this, and this is coming from a team that just won the Rose Bowl, just made the playoff a couple of years ago, is in the playoff currently. So here we go, right? It's I don't want to say a spoiled fan base, but they're used to winning, so they're good. They're itching for a title, and yeah, so I think they come out loose. I think that it reminds me of that 2014 team that was told they had no chance when they were under their third-string quarterback, Cardell Jones, going up against the Alabama machine, and they came out guns blazing. It was Tom Herman calling the plays. They went vertical shots. Defense got a turnover, a pick six. So I think they come out loose, and for what that's worth, I don't know if that will get them the W, but I think they're ready to play.
Going to be a good post-Christmas run of football. Brett, as always, we appreciate your contribution. Have a wonderful Christmas and a Happy New Year, and we'll talk to you before the National Championship game.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Talk to you soon, and the same to all the listeners, too. Appreciate it.
That's Brett Ciancia from Pick Six Previews. He's been good to us, and I know everybody has been good to him. TCU. Can Michigan keep up with TCU's speed? Donovan Edwards has filled in for Blake Corum. I don't know. That game just to me feels like Cincinnati, Alabama, where Cincinnati was good, but you never had the threat that they were going to win that game against Alabama last year.
The J.J. McCarthy thing is my only, and whether it's Michigan close or Michigan by a lot, I'm just fascinated by J.J. McCarthy. I think he's been good, and to his credit, he has answered the call to this point. Now things are that much bigger too. So that would be the only thing that keeps me from a cover or Michigan covered him, being able to cover it.
Yeah, I think the line is off that large of a line. The other one, I think we're in agreement here, Georgia. I mean, I just see Jalen Carter just pummeling C.J. Stroud.
Yep.
And Georgia making it back where they will repeat as the national champion. I don't care who they play.
If you would have told me that back in September, I would have thought that is the game we all deserve. That's going to be the national championship game.
And Georgia and Ohio State for the semifinal playing in Atlanta. All right, next hour, last hour of the year, Mike Schaefer, Matt Verzel with Mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com with Gary Sharp and Nick Handley. Now live on Twitch, YouTube, and 1620thezone.com.
Hey, it's Jan from Toyota, reminding you that Toyotathon is on and here to help make your holidays extra magical. How? Maybe it's driving in a Tacoma in search of the perfect hill to sled down. Popping from store to store in a Prius to find the perfect gift.
You did it. How'd you know?
Or it could be something much more simple, like surprising loved ones in a RAV4 hybrid.
You made it! Bobby, you're all grown up.
And seeing their faces light up when you pull up to their home. Stop by Toyotathon and make this holiday one to remember. It's the perfect opportunity to gather with your friends and family, both near and far.
Dealer inventory may vary. Current offers on these vehicles end November 30th. Offers are subject to change throughout Toyotathon, which ends on January 3rd. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Toyota, let's go places.
See your independently owned Omaha Metro Toyota dealers, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, or Baxter Toyota of La Vista.
From basketball to volleyball, baseball to softball, soccer, tennis, and so much more, the Creighton sports season is packed with action. The 1620 The Jays podcast, presented by Barry Law, covers it all. Each week, we visit with Blue Jay athletes and coaches to hear their stories and document their climb through the Big East Conference. The 1620 The Jays podcast drops each Friday morning and is found at 1620thezone.com and all major podcast platforms. Just search 1620 The Jays. Covering all things Creighton Blue Jays, it's the 1620 The Jays podcast, presented by Barry Law from 1620 The Zone.
Message and data rates may apply. Do you need a car? Been shopping only to be turned down because of bad credit, low credit, no credit, bankruptcy, or divorce? Guess what? Today's your lucky day, because now you can buy a car, truck, or SUV, just about any vehicle. It's true. Bad credit doesn't matter. No credit doesn't matter. Bankruptcy or divorce, it just doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, your job is your ticket to your new vehicle. We're Auto Credit Express, and we've helped thousands of people just like you. Antonio H. told us, great company, got me connected, and the day I went in, I drove off in the car I wanted. 100% worth your time. Need a car? Get started now and drive off as early as today. Just text APPLY NOW to 88909 right now to get started. That's APPLY NOW to 88909. Auto financing the easy way. Text APPLY NOW to 88909.
At the American Lung Association, we're fighting for a day when we can all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of lung disease. The American Lung Association isn't just fighting for air, we're fighting for all the things that make it worth breathing, and we can use your help. See what you can do at fightingforair.org.
Hey, it's Happer for the FanDuel Sportsbook, and Santa Barkley is back, and this year he's giving new FanDuel customers exactly what they asked for. Unwrap the gift of a no-sweat first bet up to $2,500 back in free bets when you sign up with promo code HAPPER. That's $2,500 back if your first bet doesn't win, and right now is the perfect time to give FanDuel a shot because the app, it's really easy to use. There's great promotions on there all the time. When you win, you get paid out quickly. There's also the great odds boost, which I love, live betting for NFL Sundays, NBA game days. How about Christmas in the NBA? And anything in between. That's just scratching the surface on some of the reasons why FanDuel is the best. So see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook and get in the holiday spirit with a no-sweat first bet up to $2,500 back in free bets from Santa Barkley when you sign up with promo code HAPPER. 21 and over, present in Iowa, first online real money wager only. Refund issued is non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Now back to mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone.
This seems like a lead-in or a theme song more than a holiday song.
Like a
late
TV
80s
show.
TV show.
Yeah. Who is this? Who is this?
Taylor Swift.
Okay.
Swifties listen to the Zone, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
Is that a young Taylor Swift?
In the video, it is. I think so. It says 3 years ago, but I don't know. I mean, she's still young.
I feel like now I should be watching a Hallmark movie.
Yeah. Very appropriate. How old is Taylor Swift?
Well, let's see. These home videos in the videos is December 92. She looks to be about 1. So, yeah, she's probably early 30s now.
Okay.
She's legal.
I wasn't asking. I knew at least that.
She is 33.
33.
Okay. 5'11", 33 years of age, born in West Reading, PA.
Excellent defender.
Reading, PA.
Yeah.
Been many a nights there.
Really?
The Reading Royals of the ECHL.
Okay.
They were a rival of the Wheeling Nailers. But we were always told not to go out from where the hotel was.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Kind of rough terrain over there?
Apparently.
Okay.
I heeded the advice. I was new.
Yeah,
Didn't
that's
know.
good.
But they also have the Reading Fightin' Phils. Very popular AA affiliate of the
Okay.
Philadelphia Phillies. But that's where Taylor Swift is from. Didn't know that.
I did not know she was a PA gal. Pennsylvania's beautiful, by the way, but anyway.
The before we finish this hour, the holiday music and everybody being happy and in the spirit, unless you're celebrating Festivus, we didn't get to bring this up yesterday. And I feel bad for him because the organization that he works for, the owner that he works for, how good a dude is Ron Rivera?
One of the best.
If you've not seen the video, so the Pro
Love
Bowl
Ron
announcements
Rivera.
came out this week, and Ron Rivera, who is a cancer survivor, is the head coach of Washington, and he has a player on his roster named Jeremy Reeves, who went from an undrafted to practice squad player, and now he is a Pro Bowler. And they videoed the announcement. So Tress Way, their punter, is in the Pro Bowl, and Jeremy Reeves, and they showed Jeremy Reeves coming into Ron Rivera's office, and he tells him, "You're going to the Pro Bowl." I mean, and then you see the emotion of Jeremy Reeves, and then, Ron Rivera, who's gone through a lot. I mean, a lot, from Carolina to battling cancer, to staying on the sidelines during COVID, and now, trying to keep Washington on the right path while everything else is going on with Washington that is non-football. Man, Ron Rivera is just a really, really good dude. That's a great video. If you're having a down day, click on that video and watch the reaction and the emotion. And you can tell Ron Rivera has such a huge heart. And
They're lucky to play for him.
Yeah, I don't think he gets, he got to the Super Bowl, lost with Carolina to Denver. And he's battled through it with Washington, but that's just a good dude. Ron Rivera is just a good dude that gets sports, gets people that are in it because he played with the Bears in the NFL as a player and now as a coach. I can't get enough of Ron Rivera stuff that is not football related.
The game ball video a few weeks ago when they I don't know if that was when they won in Chicago or a little bit later, but anyway, so they gave him the game ball. That was
He's one of the easiest guys to root for. And it could, I mean, hell, if he became the head coach of the Packers, it would really be tough for me because he represents a lot of those great things. And when I think of the Washington thing, hey, we're going to rebrand and everything, it's just so much fell on his lap. And then he's diagnosed with cancer, and he never once does he, make it about himself. Like, you can't say enough good things about Ron Rivera. Just one of the ultimate class dudes.
Yeah, to get Jeremy Reeves to the Pro Bowl, it's the best thing you would see on the internet this week by far. All right, last hour. Shafe's coming up next, followed by Matt Verzal on 1620 The Zone.
More with Gary and Nick after this on 1620 The Zone. Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burden, AC, Heating, Plumbing, and more. Time-saving traffic center. We have a new accident to report that has the center lane blocked along westbound I-80 at 126th Street, and that's going to be backed up all the way to I-680 near exits 445 and 446, where you can expect delays of up to 1 hour in that area. And we're still getting reports of that accident that has the left lane blocked westbound on Dodge near I-680, and we're also still getting reports of that accident on the left shoulder of eastbound I-80 between South 50th Street and 46th. 2nd. And we're also still getting reports of that accident on the exit ramp of the northbound JFK near exit 452. As always, remember to stay safe and wear your seatbelts. I'm Chris Scott. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Saul's Jewelry and Loan.
Bling in the holidays with Saul's. All jewelry in stock up to 50% off. Ladies' diamond rings starting at $89. Earrings starting at $39. Gemstone rings starting at $89. Bling in the holidays with up to 50% off jewelry at Saul's Jewelry and Loan.
Hello, friends. Kent Pavelka wishing everyone happy holidays and best wishes for the new year from John Higgins Weather Guard. You know, we're fortunate to live in such a great community with a strong economy, good schools, and public service, along with a high level of health care and simply a great way of life. We appreciate everyone who's done business with us, and we look forward to meeting new customers in the new year. Happy holidays from your fans, the rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard, America's leading installer of Da Vinci roofs.
Buy your next vehicle your way from anywhere with Woodhouse. Start your journey online at woodhouse.com. Easily shop all new and pre-owned inventory, explore payment options, and apply for financing. Ready to purchase? Schedule your new vehicle for pickup from the dealership or have it delivered to your driveway. Need a little extra help in determining your perfect vehicle? Our knowledgeable and local dealerships can guide you to the vehicle that best matches your needs. Experience car buying your way with Woodhouse, a trusted auto partner since 1975.
Funplex has a limited time offer that'll deck your halls. The Funplex 'Tis the Season Pass Sale. Save big through Christmas and think warm thoughts as you and yours dream about sun, fun, sliding and chilling for summer of 23. Not only will you be saving $45 off the regular price, but if you're doing your holiday math, 3 visits and the pass pays for itself. Plus, there's always special offers to season pass holders on concessions, merch, and more. The Funplex 'Tis the Season Pass Sale. Now through Christmas at fun-plex.com.
The holidays are here. This holiday season, we encourage you to come support our local stores in Omaha. And Westwood Plaza has everything you need to find that perfect gift. Boots for Less inside Westwood Plaza has been Omaha's home for work boots and Western boots for men, women, and children for 30 years. We're proud to offer a discount to our military and union members. Stay tuned for our new online store. Come grab some great holiday gifts at Boots for Less, 122nd and Center inside Westwood Plaza. If that holiday cheer has you feeling blah, stop by Rexius Nutrition in Westwood Plaza, where their goal is to help you lead a healthy lifestyle and in turn, help you look, feel, and live the way you envision. At Rexius Nutrition, we strive to give each and every customer personalized care and service so you can reach your maximal potential. We love nutrition and know it can change a person's life. Come see us at Rexius Nutrition, 121st and Center inside Westwood Plaza. Everything you need to shop locally for the holidays is at Westwood Plaza in Omaha.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
No matter how cold it gets this winter, you'll want to ditch the ski mask and show off your new smile and straighter teeth from Byte.com. That's BYTE.com. Byte Invisible Teeth Aligners are doctor-directed and cost thousands less than traditional braces. Download the MyByte mobile app to track the progress of your smile every step of the way. Order your at-home impression kit today for $14.95 with your clear aligner purchase from Byte.com. That's BYTE.com. Be confident. Be you with Byte.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. And we're back. Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Here's Gary, Nick, and Jimmy on 1620 The Zone.
All right, our next guest is all in the festive holiday spirit because I saw that he was at the sold-out performance of Grinch last night at the Lead Center in Lincoln. It is the one, the only, Mike Schaefer from Husker 24/7. How was that performance?
It was great. Once again, the Grinch was stymied by the cult that is the Lou Who's, but there's not much you can do there. One of these years, he's going to bust through, and He's not going to succumb to all the singing and everything else. But it was great. The kids really enjoyed it. There's a bunch of young children in the audience. They had some like fake snow falling from the ceilings, and people lost their mind over that, which was kind of funny. But yeah, it was great. It was just it's one of those things that no matter what your age is, the Grinch is always just sort of fun, or at least for me. And it was cool to go see a live performance of it.
What is the must-have for the Mike Schaefer holiday? Like whether it's a movie, taking in something like you did last night. Like what is the must-have that just takes the holidays up a notch for Mike Schaefer?
Generally at some point, I'm going to watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I've already done it once so far this December. Might do it again. But that's like probably the closest I get to an annual tradition, I suppose. So otherwise, like if it's ever on and I'm just like perusing the channels, which just doesn't happen anymore in the year of 2022, I'll definitely stop and watch any Charlie Brown Christmas special, wherever that thing is at. If I'm like 2 minutes in, I'll watch it. If there's 2 minutes left, I'll watch it. Got a strong love for that one too.
What would be the reaction in your household from Shelby to Slider if you had a squirrel in your Christmas tree?
If what? If there's a squirrel in the Christmas tree? Yeah. Well, Shelby would just like scream, and then Slider, because of the scream, would probably hide. But if he saw the squirrel first, the house would just be destroyed. Like he would be, chasing after that thing like crazy. But if he heard the scream first, he would probably go into full PTSD mode and start hiding behind whatever, a couch or a table or whatever it is. He's looking at me like he disagrees with my assessment, but he knows. Yeah. He knows full well. When things get loud, he gets scared.
Now, what would you do?
I don't know.
Would you get the hammer out?
I have no idea. I'm trying to think of my household experience. I saw like a rat once in the shed at the previous house, like the outside shed.
Mm-hmm.
And it just sort of stared at me and I just sort of stared at it. And I didn't really ever do anything. I imagine a squirrel inside your living room would cause more of a reaction, but I honestly don't know. I think I'd just be sort of bemused by the whole thing. In fact, knowing me, I'd probably try to take a photo and tweet it before doing anything else.
So you're not necessarily catching in the coat and smacking it with a hammer.
No, probably not. I'm definitely not going to be Manu Ginobili, and like when he caught that bat with his hands in basketball game.
Great pull.
That's not going to be me.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what happened on Wednesday. What are your takeaways from a class that not too long ago was well outside of the 30 range and had some guys that were leaving, and all of a sudden finished up where they're inside of the top 30?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the range where I sort of expect the staff will be. I think they're going to be even better. And I think top 20 is going to be a pretty consistent thing for Matt Rule and this group when you add in the transfers and what they're going to do on the recruiting trail. And I'll tell you, they have much higher aspirations than that too. And I think we're going to see them maybe shoot for the moon a little bit in 2024, where they've already got graphics coming out at 8:00 on Wednesday night, National Signing Day. So they're certainly not going to be the staff that takes a light approach to recruiting. And, it was a transition class is always hard. I kept thinking about, like, in 2018, some of the names that you would get excited about that never really played college football. I mean, Cameron Jones, TJ Smith, Justin McGriff. So you're going to have some guys like that because it's a transition class. Like, that's sort of what happens. But there's a lot to kind of like individually in there. There's a lot to be sort of intrigued by. And then I thought, his press conference was really fascinating on Wednesday too. Unsolicited, sort of talking up guys like Eric Fields that they feel really strongly about. I mean, that's someone that they basically saw that senior film and couldn't believe no one else in the country was after this guy at the same level they were going to be. And so I'm curious how many of those kinds of guys, like an Eric Fields, a Bryce Turner, Vincent Carroll Jackson, where they feel real strongly about their ability to develop and teach, that it's going to overcome the fact that we're talking about pretty raw players that weren't as highly regarded by other Power 5 teams.
Yeah, speaking of his press conference on signing day, he did go to the defense of the offensive line And with some of the news that we're hearing today, reported by his mother, and Columbus too, for you, Mike. They're the Ramblers, the Ben Scott. It seems like it's an inevitable that he's going to be taking Nebraska, where it sounded like it was Oregon. Do you feel like that Matt Rule had an inkling of that when he was kind of talking about this offensive line and talking about how he's very confident we'll be a better group next year?
Well, I think, Matt Rule's not dumb. He knows what the conversation was after he retained Donovan Raiola, and he knows that Donovan Raiola has become somewhat of a whipping boy, and I don't think it's unearned. I really don't. I think he has as much to prove as anybody on that staff, and he's got a really tough job. And if you're going to talk about working with a lot of those same players, which is sort of the expectation, and Matt Rule even said that. And I think, it was smart on his part to do it because he's got to build up the confidence of a Turner Corcoran. He's got to build back the confidence of a Bryce Benhart, because as much as some people might be done with them, those are very likely two starters for you in 2023. You got to win with those guys. And sometimes winning with those guys means building back confidence and getting them to a point where they feel, good about playing football again. And I imagine some of that's happening with the offensive line. As for Ben Scott, how about the city of Columbus? You lose Ernest Hausman, your connection to Nebraska football.
Yeah.
And then, I find out last night that a family that I've known for 20 plus years just happens to be related to a guy out of Hawaii who just happens to be a multi-year starter at Arizona State, who just happens to be in the transfer portal. What a small world.
Yep.
It hasn't been officially announced yet, but definitely feels like Ben Scott is going to end up at Nebraska. I kind of wonder if he isn't sort of a perfect stopgap that kind of takes over for Trent Hickson, becomes your center for a couple years and sets you up for then the future of Sam Sledge, who I think quietly might be the safest bet of every in-state player. I feel like when I watched Sam Sledge's film, when I saw him this year, that's just a guy who's going to be a multi-year starter for Nebraska. And so, if that maybe is your line right there, Hickson to Scott to Sledge, I mean, that would be a pretty nice way to have it develop for a position at center that it just feels like for most of the 2010s, we just wondered what the hell kind of play Nebraska was going to get there until Cam Jurgens really sort of took over in 2021, had his best season. Obviously, he's off to the NFL. So for a very important position, it sure feels like Nebraska might have kind of a line step there.
Mike Schaefer from Husker 24/7 joining us. All right, we're past the drama, the build-up, the decommit, the recommit. I'm in Boulder with Malachi Coleman, who stays in Nebraska's class. Now we're on to football. And we've talked a lot about this on the show about him. And he had a really good junior year. He had a really, really good quarterback, who, by the way, I wonder if Noah Walters will follow Ryan Held to UNK. Different topic. But now he's in the mix. In your head, what you know about Malachi, what you now know about Nebraska's ability with Matt Rule to develop those kind of athletes that are 6'5" with elite speed, what do you think the version of Malachi Coleman will look like in Nebraska over the next couple of years? Because this is a kid who, we were all up in the air on what's going to happen with him, but I don't think in this class you can have him be like a miss. Do you need him to be a star? Maybe not, but I don't think you can have him to be a miss. What do you think in the next couple of years his development will look like?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me, and this is just me talking, I mean, this isn't anything to do with the Coleman family or the recruiting process or his senior year. I think it's going to be really important for Malachi to get to a place where he's no longer sort of the sole focus. I think it was a disservice for him and a disservice for Lincoln East that everything became, well, what's Malachi doing this entire season for the Spartans? And, that's a big thing. But he went from sort of being their third or fourth best player as a junior and someone with huge upside to immediately being the sole focus of an entire season of what's going to happen. How's he going to do without Noah Walters? That's a lot of pressure on an 18-year-old kid. And I think he's going to benefit just as much as anybody possibly could by going into sort of the machine that is a college football program, where suddenly, you get over there. It doesn't matter that you were a 4-star. It doesn't matter that you were in the top 247. It doesn't matter that you're 6'5". It doesn't matter that you run fast. Everybody does those things in college football. And so I think getting him back to the point where his focus becomes, I'm no longer kind of, the spotlight isn't on me, to where I get to sort of develop and work and grow and practice, and it doesn't have to be this topic of discussion every single week. I think it's going to be a huge benefit for him. And I do think like that's one of those things when everybody kind of got hung up on what his senior year looked like. Having the ability to just sort of relax and grow, it wasn't an option for him as a senior. Some of that you could argue was maybe self-inflicted. Some of that was external pressure. And I hope the fan base can at least acknowledge that he needs a little bit more time. Like, this isn't a thing where people should be ragging about whatever's happening with Malachi Coleman if he's not playing in a game in November of next year. Because he needs a little more time than most people.
Shafe, we know the coming weeks are also going to be interesting with this new staff. First of all, getting positions finalized, but also knowing that you still have February as well for another signing day to, kind of solidify this class. What are you kind of looking for here these next couple of weeks and really through the month of January for this staff and recruiting?
I don't honestly look for a lot of high school kids anymore. I think that at this point, they got a lot of what they were going to get there. The focus might be on trying to find a pass catcher or two, or maybe the best available player in the portal. But you think about what they did since they got here, and you add, Ben Scott to the mix as we're expecting here in the next few hours. They've really addressed every issue. I mean, look at the transfer portal additions. They went out and they got some guys for their defensive line. They added Corey Collier in the defensive backfield. They added a specialist that can help as a long snapper. They have a quarterback candidate in Jeff Sims. They have an offensive lineman potentially in Ben Scott. And so then, if you're talking about what else is left, they've got to maybe try to find a replacement for, the Samari Toure, Trey Palmer, honorary 1-year transfer portal superstar. Yeah. I don't know how likely that is, but that's probably the next biggest thing. And then a lot of credit to Brian Christopherson, who wrote this at Husker 24/7 yesterday when we kind of tackled the idea of remaining needs. He sort of wrote, and I agree with it, the next step for this staff is to just keep their roster intact, to keep guys from maybe jumping into the portal after signing day and before the spring, and to keep an A.J. Allen and to keep a Malcolm Hartzog and to keep some of those guys around. Because that might be more valuable than anything you're going to be able to do right now in terms of going into the transfer portal.
All right, we got 251 days, and we're going to spend every single day breaking down Jeff Sims against Casey Thompson. Something or nothing, and maybe it's a little bit, I've seen him, I've recruited him. I haven't yet got deep into Casey Thompson, and I'm talking about Matt Rule. But do you get the sense that Matt Rule for 23 got his quarterback out of the portal?
I do. I mean, his comments on Wednesday, you don't want to make too much of them, but it sure feels like when you're talking about Jeff Sims, he's talking about how other people in the NFL world reached out to him like, hey, are you looking at this guy and all of that? I mean, just the way that he talked about him, it doesn't sound like someone that's coming here to redshirt. Doesn't sound like someone that's coming here to be a backup. I mean, he's a 3-year starter at a Power 5 program. Like, I don't think he chose Nebraska because he wanted to come redshirt for a year and learn from Casey Thompson. So I think Jeff Sims is going to have every opportunity to win that job. I think it's going to be a really interesting spring as to the availability of Casey Thompson. I think it'll be interesting to see what it is that Casey wants. Maybe he's comfortable with the idea that he rides out his final year of college. He could be a great depth option. He could provide some help. He could, still earn some NIL money by being maybe the most valuable backup in college football. I mean, I don't know what he's going to do. And it certainly seems like he wants to stick around if that's an option. But I don't know if that means he's going to be a starting quarterback. And so it's super unique to be in this situation. If you think about last year, we were talking about Brock Purdy and Casey Thompson. The difference is you're talking about multi-year starters at Power 5. If you're talking Casey Thompson, Jeff Sims, that's just a different level altogether. So definitely going to be a lot of conversation about that. And then I still wonder, does a guy like Logan Smothers fit better with Matt Rule than he did at the end with Scott Frost and Mickey Joseph and Mark Whipple? What happens with Chubba Purdy? What about Heinrich Harburg and Richard Torres? How quickly does Dylan Raiola emerge as the guy for Nebraska in the quarterback chase of 2024? What about Daniel Talon? There's a lot of storylines about quarterbacks right now.
Yeah, and you forgot to mention one guy.
Rezak?
No. Well, yeah, you could mention him. I was being sarcastic. We'll finish on this because so we got 251 days before Minnesota. Maybe Dylan Raiola commits before then. I would think that his next school he would commit so that he could peer recruit. In your world, what was a decommit like that of the number one quarterback, number one player in the class of 24 to decommit from a school like Ohio State? What was the general talking points around your industry outside of, oh boy, Nebraska could have another shot at it?
Well, I think a lot of it was, hey, I mean, this is a kid that has connections to TCU, USC, and Lincoln Riley was really hard after him. He's got a connection to Matt Stafford, and Georgia went hard. I mean, it's easy to link Nebraska in there, and of course, his uncle being kept as a coach, and then, Matt Rule immediately following members of his family. Like, there's a lot that you can sort of line up as to, okay, Nebraska seems like they're in the mix. Well, so are these other programs. Like, I mean, USC is going to go after the best quarterbacks they can find every year because Lincoln Riley's track record for Heisman winners is insane. And TCU just made the college football playoff, and Raiola has connections into Texas. Georgia just won the national. So it's not just as simple as, well, Nebraska's just back in the mix, so we're going to line it up for Dylan to go there. I really think that this is going to be a battle. I'm excited to see how Matt Rule and Marcus Satterfield and company approach it. And I don't know when a timeline is really going to emerge for what he wants to do. And that's going to be kind of a big thing in all of this too. It's interesting how it all unfolded, but that's the great thing about recruiting. You only have to wait another minute for another big storyline to happen.
Well, get on some Ben Scott, and you'll have one to put to bed before Christmas. Shafe, as always, I appreciate it. Thank you. Have a wonderful Christmas and Happy New Year with your family.
Yeah, happy holidays, guys. Have a great week off as bowl season will be running through the airwaves on 1620, and I'm sure you'll be regretting that you won't be able to be up at 5 a.m. to talk to everybody about sports on December 26th.
See you on January 3rd. Thanks, Shafe. I appreciate that.
Merry Christmas, Shafe.
Love you, my man.
See you guys.
So will there be drama with the quarterback battle? I don't think the guy that wears number 11 that was here last year is going to go away quietly. But we got 251 days to break down the battle for a quarterback position. That might be the first true quarterback battle at Nebraska in 25 years.
Whoa. Tristan and Adrian? Come on. Don't do Tristan like that. Come on.
Crouch Newcomb?
Yeah.
Yeah. There was.
I mean, or is Casey he's trailing. I don't know.
Competition's good. Regardless.
Even though Taylor was a starter, was there ever like a real competition between Ron Kellogg and Tommy when they had to, because they ended up having the two quarterback system to figure it out?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Crouch and Newcomb.
No fun.
Just my eyeballs say that Casey is better than Jeff Sims, but if it comes down to running, here's my hot take, because I know people are like, well, Jeff Sims not going to start. Nebraska will need both of those guys to start a game in 2023.
Yeah.
At some point, they will each have started a game for Nebraska, either due to injury or performance, but they will need both of them to start a game.
The injury thing is, I think, where I'd start, yeah.
Well, and so is Jeff Sims fully cleared? Like right when he steps on campus, I don't think there's any issue about him going through spring, but he got beat up at Georgia Tech. Mm-hmm. I mean, is he going to walk in the door in January and he's good to go, or does he need a little rehab?
My God, when is a Nebraska quarterback actually? I mean, even Chubba, then Logan. Logan wasn't even playing and was banged up.
Well, Adrian was good for a game, and then he went down against Colorado, and something about those injuries in your freshman year at quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Matt Verzal is coming up next.
Gary Sharp, Nick Handley, and Jimmy Chavez. Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Weekdays 6 to 10. On 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com. Mornings on 1620 The Zone is brought to you by MD West One Orthopedics, Neurosurgery, and Spine. Previously on The Crossover.
If Purdue was open when Prime was looking for a job, you think he would have gone to Purdue?
Would he have changed it to Prime Dew?
I don't think so, Nick. Look at John.
I don't think he would have been able to rename it Prime Dew. You don't think so? Think there would have been some troubles there?
Chance says that Prime Do sounds like another one of Scooby's cousins.
I hope he's better than
Scooby, Scrappy, and Prime.
Mornings on 1620 The Zone, the Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike conduct. 6A to 6P, 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Dangerously cold Friday with a high today near 2 degrees, but at the warmest, feeling like negative 21. A wind chill warning remains in effect throughout the day Friday with northwesterly winds up to 40 miles an hour. Otherwise, mostly to partly cloudy today, becoming partly cloudy to mostly clear tonight. Extremely cold, feeling like 27 below zero. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley, brought to you by MD West One Orthopedics, Neurosurgery, and Spine on 1620 The Zone.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here from my friends at Kugler Vision. If you have money sitting in your flex plan or in your health savings account, it is time for an early holiday gift for yourself. I am talking about LASIK with my friends at Kugler Vision. Visit their website today, kuglervision.com. Let them know that you are sick of bad vision and you are ready to see if you qualify to have one of their 7 vision correction procedures. 402-558-2211 or online at kuglervision.com.
Acura of Omaha has more than 100 quality pre-owned vehicles, with most priced thousands below market value. Get our best price in just minutes at AcuraofOmaha.com. That's AcuraofOmaha.com.
This is Darcy with Dingman's Collision Center. We have run our business for years by helping the vehicle owner retain the value of their vehicle by working for them with warranted, safe, high-standard repairs. For this reason, Omaha vehicle owners have chosen Dingman's to repair their vehicles. Your loyalty has been shown through repeat business and amazing referrals. You've also voted us first place Best of Omaha for the past 17 years. We want to say thank you for choosing the Dingman family and our incredible technicians to repair your vehicles. At Dingman's, we'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less.
I never thought I'd struggle to afford groceries at my age. This isn't how I want to live.
If you're facing food insecurity, there's a place to turn. Visit foodbankheartland.org today to find food near you or to make a donation.
The holidays are here. Achieve gifting greatness when you give perfectly aged, tender, delicious Omaha steaks. Go to omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide. Plus, when you use code SIZZLE at checkout, you get an extra $40 off your order. Omaha Steaks is ready to ship curated special take the guesswork out of gifting packages right away. So beat the rush and be a holiday hero. Shop omahasteaks.com. Use promo code SIZZLE at checkout for that extra $40 off your order. Minimum order may be required.
More than 350 residents of Legacy Crossing were displaced when the apartment complex was shut down by the city of Omaha due to substandard living conditions. More than 1/3 of those displaced were children. Heartland Family Service is working with the city of Omaha and the community to provide temporary and permanent housing arrangements. Work is underway to meet the needs of those impacted. You can help. Donations can now be made through the Omaha Community Foundation. Go to omahafoundation.org and help the residents of Legacy Crossing today.
Make it a great fall season. Head to kuglervision.com today to request a consultation.
Now back to mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone.
Some might say this guy's the Grinch or Scrooge. I just say that he's a warm, lovable Santa Claus. It is Santa Matt who joins us now. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you, my friend.
Who said I'm a Grinch?
Yeah, he's not here anymore. I had to get rid of him.
Oh, that dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's part of his shtick. Like, he doesn't like that people like me, so he feels he's got to make me into this unlikable person. I am very likable.
I tell everyone I run into that you're a very likable person. Hey, by the way, we got a Christmas gift. Remember we were talking last week? Dansby Swanson has said yes. Now, are you okay with Dansby playing shortstop?
Yeah, how many innings Dansby gonna throw?
Well, if he's throwing any innings, that's probably not a good thing.
Come on, man. We need pitcher. When there's a probability that on opening day I could pitch, that is not good.
I like Dansby Swanson. I think he's a good baseball player. I think he's just some dudes on like that just people like to be around, they like to play with, and it's great. But he ain't pitching. Like, we need pitching. And then you watch like super rich owners like just getting this awesome bidding war. It's like, we're just gonna amass an all-star team and spend $1 billion on payroll and just let's go and see what happens. And then we're duct taping things together with me pitching the third inning.
I'm afraid where this one might go, but I've never had a chance to ask you. There is, as also a Bears fan, I think there's a plan there. I'm encouraged to see what happens with salary cap and some draft capital for once, but it is the Bears, so I'm reluctant to fully buy in. Do you see or do you have confidence that the plan can be executed?
The offseason will tell, right? Like, my big fear, I had no problem with them drafting Justin Fields because he's like a Mensa type guy. Like, he's wicked smart.
Mm-hmm.
But my fear was that they were going to get killed in the first few years, and then he was going to be like, I ain't playing for you guys anymore.
Yeah.
So if they get active in the big man market and get some linemen to protect him, that I think the turn can be quick. Minnesota kind of show you that game plan, but you also have to have somebody else that he can get the ball to. Like, they've got to have more weapons than they have. They've got to have more protection for him than they currently have. But I'm optimistic. I got to be optimistic about something because as charmed of a sports life as I've led, being a Chicago fan, getting the opportunity to be a part of 2 national championship teams in college, and all my pro teams have won their championship. Now they're all bad. Like, the Blackhawks are terrible. The Bulls are mediocre at best. The Cubs just didn't want to make a dynasty for some reason. And the Bears are just kind of fledgling around. So, here I am.
I was thinking about you the other day, and thinking of football thoughts, by the way. Matt Rule gets into offensive line play, and what does he say? He said that he wants to play three styles of O-line play, and I immediately thought, you know what? The last person that I heard talk about 3 different styles of O-line play was Milt Tenopir. For people that don't know, when Matt Rule says, I want my guys to be able to play 3 styles of O-line play, what is he talking about?
What I think the big thing that he's commenting on is that the schemes or the systems will be simplified, right? Now, you can go way back in the day to Joe Wells and Larry Rutar at Walnut Junior High School, and those 3 styles could be agile, mobile, and hostile, which are all good ones. I've carried those along my life, and anybody that's ever coached has said that heard that phrase. But I would say you're going to have, an inside zone scheme, an outside zone scheme, and a pull scheme, and that's now in that you're covering everything there. There's not a lot more you can do, but it's almost just like we're going to keep this thing where they aren't thinking a whole bunch, and they're going to go out and play real hard and be real aggressive and let the bodies hit the floor. So I like it a lot. I like the way they've handled a lot of the situations. All cards on the table. I was hoping that old man that used to call plays wouldn't be such a D-bag, and Mickey would have gotten a job, and now we are where we are, and that situation played out. But with what Rule's done and just like genuinely paying attention to the state, giving the coaches of the state some due credit, and that discussion that he has isn't, hey, who you got for me? It's simple research. Who's been the best player at this high school I'm going to go talk to? Say, hey, coach, if you have any Corey Schlesingers, if you have any Clinton Childs, if you have any Phil Ellis's that walk through your doorway or that you've played against, I trust your opinion as an evaluator. You tell me what you think. That means the world to a coach because you value their opinion. And then they can send on hey, we don't have them, but we played this kid and he did X, Y, and Z, and you guys need to take a look at it. That means a lot. And it's very simple, and it's frustrating that it's never been done. It's very disrespectful, but it's awesome that it's happening now. Everybody in the state's jazzed up. You got 8 kids from in-state getting the Goldman kid was a big get.
Yep.
And then, you're getting other kids that are Corv is going to give it a chance to walk on, and it's awesome because it's what it's built on. The foundation of your state school should be your state kids.
So
and it's not going to be everybody. It's not going to be every single one.
Thank you.
But it's going to be a lot of them.
So let me go back to the three different styles of offensive line play that Matt Rule is talking about, that when you were at Nebraska, you guys had, whether it be, I guess, zone, you had some gap blocking, you had man blocking. Now, Mason Goldman is one of those guys that I get excited because he's been able to do all three of those things in Gretna's offense. But how difficult is it to find somebody? I think this is a credit to Milt and Dan having a plan to way they recruited to the kind of linemen that, you had to have some wheels. You were big, but you also had to move. Nowadays, to find linemen that can do all three of those well.
Well, Gretna has an advantage. Kubicek does a hell of a job out there, right? He gets them in good spots. Your teams that have a focus or have that aspect of their staff in line, you can tell right away. You can tell. So a lot of the things, it's just going to be switching terminology. What Milt and Dan knew was we can get these guys, right? We can, not everybody is a freak.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I put Zach Weger or Aaron Taylor on a basketball court against Rob Zaska, the doc's huge brain is not going to value him. It's not going to do him well there. But that athleticism that's missing, and it's changed a lot of the things, like even how I'm now starting, we're already got guys working for next year. And we're working a lot more fundamental athleticism, just like doing athletic things that I was kind of maybe took for granted as a kid, that I played basketball, that I played baseball, that I wanted to play other sports. We all take great pride as linemen in being good at golf. And we're competitive, but we're athletic. So as that evolves, Sammy Sledge is an athletic guy.
Mm-hmm.
The Knutson kid has some sweet feet. He really does. He can pick them up and put them down. And so you get, those things that you're looking at, right? And you get those opportunities to showcase that. Lateral movement will neutralize speed. Okay, so if we're running any kind of outside zone scheme, and I make that linebacker run left to right. Now I've got to test his patience.
Mm-hmm.
If he wants to stay patient and stay a leg behind the play, I still have a great angle to block him. But he wants to fly over the top, and I have a really good running back. By the way, this old man that just parked next to me, his hands, gave 0 F's about any parking lot.
Picture is upcoming.
Somehow he is in 4 spots. I've never seen anything like that. But and he didn't give two F's. He just parked that baby and he got out like, deal with it. I'm out of here. But when you get that lateral athleticism, right, and the straight ahead is great. The straight ahead is short yardage and that kind of stuff. But when I can get you out in space where you don't realize I have great angle on you, now I can really hit and I can really do some things. And so that, again, strength and athleticism coach, not strength and conditioning coach, or strength and athleticism coach. Now, they developed that. They got tools to do things, but it should be a painful off season. And a little birdie told me that some of them ain't real happy right now because evidently he's a very intense human being, and they're not quite sure if they like that. Like, well, the door swings out, boys. Don't let it hit you with a good Lord splits you. Like, you don't like it, that door goes out. Push it hard, and we'll see you later. We'll pack your ass for you, and you can be out the door. But it's that mentality has to be shaped in the weight room, and it's got to be shaped by him, and then the rest of the staff just carries it on. And again, you don't like it, it's a free world, baby. Hit that portal. See what's out there.
Okay, so the strength and athleticism, which I'm glad you brought up, as you're describing all of that there, if I'm thinking about a senior that is just gifted as an offensive lineman in high school because, he's bigger than most people and he's got some good technique, but it's just going to obviously have to ascend when he gets to the college game. When you talk about being in the meetings and starting to learn and maybe even relearn just finer technique, in your experience, did you see a lot of guys kind of swimming in that where you can't make that jump, where the mental part of it is just too overwhelming, where you've got all the physical skills in the world, but that mental jump as an offensive lineman it's just too much.
That's yeah. Constantine Dimitrescu, like, was supposed to be the next coming of God. That's like Jonathan Ogden part 2. And my guy, it did not go well for him. Like, he had this mentally, physically very gifted human being. Mentally, just got steamrolled. Anybody I've ever worked with at any position that goes on to play in college, I tell them straight up, this is not about physical anymore. Your physical attributes got you there. They see something in you that makes them want to keep you, okay? What you have to do is mental. Now, everybody's going to be like, oh, how hard can football mentally be? It is not mentally. Like, it's not the scheme. It's not the plays. It's the fact that you're going to have everybody from every high school across the country that's been told they were great, that they are the best, that they are the dude. And they're going to get in there, and there's going to be somebody that's going to say some things to them that they have never heard in their life, or they have never been called, and they don't know what to do. And you, like, this is not for public air radio consumption, but some of the things some of the people were called and things said to them, I was like, okay, we probably need to let old boy alone a little bit. Like, he's got that private pile look. Like, we might have to back her down here a little bit. But that's the piece. Because you have uber competitive people, you're viewed as a threat. And it's such a mind F, right? Because you got these old guys that they know that's their job. But then you got this young new toy that the coaching staff has brought in, and all you're hearing about is how great this dude is. And you're like, well, let's check little buddy. Let's see what he's got. And then you just watch him either slowly break or overcome it. Be like, yeah, I'm still this guy. Like, I think the kids say now, that's him. Like, I'm him. Don't worry. It's tough for high school offensive linemen, okay? Because you have to be a freak to stay on the offensive line. It's going to be a trickle-down type of thing. Linebackers go to D-line, D-line goes to O-line, O-line, usually goes away, unless you're a freak show. And then you stay, and you compete, and you go. But it's how you're in a battle for alpha of alpha. And there's some dudes in there, trust me, no one there cares about your feels. If he's mean to me, well, okay, deal with it. And then once you get about 20, 30 dudes that can deal with it, now you got some ass kickers. And now you can go win some games. And now you can go do some stuff. So it's all mental. College sports is just a mental thing. Can I mentally handle this? Going from the dude to being the low man on the totem pole. Can I figure out why this guy hates me or perceived hates me, or if he's just trying to see if I'm worthy to be on his team? That's the big thing. That's what's awesome about it. The psychological warfare that took place at that joint in the 90s was unbelievable. But it made badass dudes. Like, it made natural born killers. And it was a clinic. It was awesome.
It was. And I mean, we always hear the old adage that Monday through Friday was more difficult than Saturday, which says a lot about internally.
You talk about, like, swag. Like, you walked out and, I never started, but the guys that started, well, this is way harder on Tuesday. Like, okay, here we go. I'm playing today.
Hey, did your guy that parked next to you, did he make any eye contact with you?
Oh, buddy, no. He's reached the age of old that he just does not care. He threw on his jacket. He had a Carhartt, and he just waddled in there and got do some damage his hand.
What is the age when you reach that you just don't care?
Poof. I think some people that are even old still care. Some people that are old don't give two F's. Like my grandma passed away the other day. May she rest in peace. She didn't care. She was awesome. I would call her. She'd be like, "Hey, how's it going?" I was like, "I was busy, working a bunch and da da da." And I was like, "She goes, how much?" I was like, "I got about 100 hours in." And she's like, "That's cute." And I was like, "Really? That's cute." Because I got that in by Friday. And I was like, "Jesus, you're 96 or 94. Like, get off my ass, lady."
Wow.
But no, she was awesome, and it was the house that she lived in. She lived in her entire life. She passed sitting in her chair, 10 feet away from where she was born. So it's kind of a cool deal. But yeah, she's hard in Chinese algebra, and I'm going to miss her. But yeah, if anybody ever wonders why I don't struggle working a whole bunch, that was obviously I had to mirror behavior. She farmed by herself for 35 years. My grandpa passed away when I was 13. So
wow, that's
she's
amazing.
A crazy good lady.
Hey, thanks for sharing that. Sorry to hear about that, but I do know you've spoken about her before, so I know what she meant.
Yeah.
But thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, boys.
Hey, have a great Christmas, Verz.
You guys do the same. Have a Merry Christmas.
That's Matt Verzal. Stop in and see him today. He'll be over at Pisons at 156th and Center.
Some good pizza too.
Oh, it's good. Yeah.
Yep. No, yeah.
You guys want me to validate that too? Yeah, it's super good.
Yeah, and there's some drinks, and then there's Verz.
Yeah,
all there.
I gotta say hi to him next time. I feel bad.
We said a lot of goodbyes on the morning show over the last year. I don't know if it's good or bad that I'm still the only one that's still here, but we're saying goodbye to somebody else when we come back on Mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com with Gary Sharp and Nick Handley.
Hey, don't forget, with the Woodhouse's final days of the Season of Inspiration event, you can get your new Mazda, and the first year of maintenance is on them. Plus, make no payments for 90 days on any new or certified pre-owned Mazda when financed through Mazda Financial Services. Shop the Omaha Metro's exclusive Mazda dealers. That's Woodhouse Mazda. You can shop their inventory, apply for financing, and even schedule appointments on WoodhouseMazda.com or WoodhousePlaceMazda.com. You can visit them in Bellevue off of Highway 75 and Chandler Road at Woodhouse Mazda, or in Millard off of 144th and Giles at Woodhouse Place Mazda. You will not find a more streamlined sales process with a very friendly, knowledgeable staff and no pressure sales. And with it being so cold out there, be sure to take advantage of the final days of the Season of Inspiration event. Stop or shop online. Use that convenience without having to go out in the cold and pick out the perfect Mazda vehicle for you. As a Mazda owner, I love the fact that I got the heated steering wheels, the heated seats, and it's available in a lot of the different Mazda SUVs that you can choose from. So check it out at Woodhouse Mazda. Happy holidays from everyone from Woodhouse Mazda and Woodhouse Auto Family. A drive worth experiencing.
Omaha's most listened to all sports radio station. Again and again and again. 1620 The Zone.
From basketball to volleyball, baseball to softball, soccer, tennis, and so much more, the Creighton sports season is packed with action. The 1620 The Jays podcast, presented by Barry Law, covers it all. Each week, we visit with Blue Jay athletes and coaches to hear their stories and document their climb through the Big East Conference. The 1620 The Jays podcast drops each Friday morning and is found at 1620thezone.com and all major podcast platforms. Just search 1620 The Jays. Covering all things Creighton Blue Jays, it's the 1620 The Jays podcast, presented by Barry Law from 1620 The Zone.
Ramona's Mexican restaurant is a North Omaha original on 30th Street. Everything you've loved about Ramona's is still the way you remember. Nachos, the works, the popular deep-fried burrito, that beast of a cheeseburger, and don't forget those cinnamon chips. They offer indoor and outdoor seating, fresh margaritas and cocktails, plus a convenient walk-up window. And if you buy a Ramona's t-shirt, they'll take 20% off your bill when you wear your t-shirt. Just north of 30th Street in historic Florence. Come check them out today.
The holidays are here. Achieve gifting greatness when you give perfectly aged, tender, delicious Omaha steaks. Go to omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide. Plus, when you use code SIZZLE at checkout, you get an extra $40 off your order. Omaha Steaks is ready to ship curated special take the guesswork out of gifting packages right away. So beat the rush and be a holiday hero. Shop omahasteaks.com. Use promo code SIZZLE at checkout for that extra $40 off your order. Minimum order may be required.
42 Degrees wants to thank everyone for making 2022 our best year ever. 42 Degrees has put everything, yes, everything, at buy one, get one at 50% off. That's right, it's buy one, get one at 50% off on everything. No exclusions. With 9 convenient locations, the friendliest, most knowledgeable, and professional staff, and our year-end buy one, get one at 50% off sale, go to The Source and save on everything we sell. 42 Degrees. Buy your mom's house.
Santa Barkley is back, and this year he's giving new FanDuel customers exactly what you want. Unwrap the gift of a no-sweat first bet up to $2,500 back in free bets when you sign up using our promo code 1620. That's right, $2,500 back if your first bet doesn't win. That's up to $2,500 back. It's the perfect time to start with FanDuel and Santa Barkley.
John, we got a triple header of games coming up on Christmas in the NFL and so much more. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today. Put in our promo code 1620 for your no sweat first bet for up to $2,500 via Santa Barkley. Once again, that promo code 1620. 21 plus and present in Iowa. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions do apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Hey, everybody, it's Gary Sharp. Join me for We Got a Podcast, driven by Woodhouse Auto Family. We get more in depth, have a guest or two, and drop nuggets of info you haven't heard anywhere else. Join us for We Got a Podcast, driven by Woodhouse Auto Family, every Friday in the show page on 1620thezone.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Here's an opportunity for business-to-business salespeople. NRG Media is looking for someone who gets excited about helping local businesses grow. Are you an idea person who can create and execute a plan? We should talk. At NRG Media, we create local marketing campaigns designed to meet a key challenge. On air, online, on-site, audio, video. It's all part of what you could do. A sales career with NRG lets you make a real difference. Business-to-business salespeople? Apply online at nrgmedia.com. NRG Media is an equal opportunity employer.
And we're back. Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Here's Gary, Nick, and Jimmy on 1620 The Zone.
All right, so we've had a lot of fun today. All the Christmas music. People are excited for Christmas and on into the New Year. It actually, surrounding this morning show and this building, this is kind of a sad day because somebody who had a major impact on this radio station and this building, and in particular, yours truly being here, he's finally going to do it. 3 times he came out of retirement, and the 4th time he is going to stay permanently retired. The godfather of radio, one of the newest inductees into the Nebraska Broadcasters Hall of Fame, Neil Nelkin, who everybody knows throughout the entire state, from Ogallala to North Platte to Lincoln to Omaha. This is his last day. And I keep asking him all week, it's not your last day, because I'm going to see you here in January and you're going to be doing the same thing. But you are convinced that this is now time for you to retire.
This is it, Gary. Yeah. So many memories dragging your sorry butt back from Florida. It was great fun. Loved that. How many years ago was that?
That's about 10 years. You said, hey, why don't you come here and do a show with Jason Peter?
Yeah, I remember.
Hey, that worked out, Neil.
And you didn't know it.
No.
You didn't know Jason Peter.
Oh, no. So here's a little story. So I got hired here, and Neil would not tell me who my co-host was.
Oh. Right?
He said, trust me. Yeah. Yeah.
And you did.
Could go wrong. Yeah. Trusted you for about 6 weeks. But you know how I feel about you and everybody here. And we've got 2 young guys who have not had as much experience with you as I have. Man, this is a great moment. We've celebrated. It's been kind of like an entire year celebration of Neil. With you going to the Broadcasters Hall of Fame for the state of Nebraska, which I was always amazed you weren't already in. But, man, I don't know what – now – if you can tell people what you're going to do, I don't know what you're going to do because
I'm retiring.
I know, but radio has been your life.
Yeah.
Now you get to go play grandpa.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm going to be playing it very well. I've got a place to live in Lincoln. We're going to be moving to Lincoln. I understand that Jim Pillen's not going to be moving to the governor's mansion, so it's available.
There you go.
Big place, but, I keep the windows clean.
I found it to be, I guess, the timing of, me coming back here too.
Yeah, you started here.
Exactly. To intersect on your final couple of weeks too was, to me, very fitting because, my gosh, being behind a microphone, you gave me, at least you showed the confidence in me hosting a high school scoreboard show back in like 2000.
Oh, yeah.
And that started it for me too. So to be able to come back here on your final couple of weeks with us, that does it. That brings back so many great memories, but it means a lot to me to be able to at least share even a little training session on Zot over there in the Coil studio too. It brought back memories even back then. So he was
and
great.
We've got the young guy here, Jimmy, has moved into this position and gotten to know him. He's quite a guy. He's got a lot of talent there behind the board, but also behind the mic. So I leave knowing that this place is in good hands.
Best line that you told me, Neil, day 2. Hey, you came back for a second day. That's the hardest day to come back from. So yeah, it's
honestly, we've had some people that started here and didn't come back from lunch.
Oh, that's true.
You remember?
Yeah, I remember that. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
This is a well-earned retirement, and I still, that's one of my special memories was back in August when we were all in Lincoln. Those of us that are in the building that have worked with you, whether it be at UNO or at UNL or just in the business
or the
period.
original Pinnacle Sports Network.
Yeah.
We put that thing together.
Yeah, we won't talk about that. But you deserve this retirement. In this business where you don't last very long, to have 5+ decades of we were a station owner.
Yeah.
We've been an announcer.
Right.
I've been a station manager.
Yes.
Program director.
Yes. News director.
Yeah. On-air host.
Yeah.
Am I missing any other role that you have had officially?
GM?
I've been GM. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Pick a name. I've done it.
Well, we've been very lucky enough here at NRG Media, and it was not always known as NRG Media, but you've also done stuff with our good friends over at Boomer. And Dave Wingert, who used to be here, who I love Wingy. You and him have been together. Patrick Combs, who used to be here.
Celine.
Everybody used to be here.
They did.
Yeah.
Steve Celine used to be one of our owners here.
But I know, our general manager here, Mark Schecterly, had some great words to say when we were at the Hall of Fame
Well, let's
induction
not
ceremony.
get this maudlin. Let's just say, hey, it's been a great time.
No,
it's going to be a great
I'm
future.
trying to make you cry.
You ain't going to make me cry.
I know. I
I've
tried
had
before.
Wives try that.
I know.
That has never worked.
I was like, we'll get beer over here. We can.
The key word, wives. Hey, I'm happy for you. I
Thanks,
want to,
Gary.
this isn't new. I've done this privately, but big thanks to what you've done for me.
Thank you.
Because now, we're in Lincoln. Everybody seems to have worked at Broadcast House in Lincoln and NRG Media in Omaha.
Well, and also the old Mitchell Broadcasting.
Yes.
Yeah, and look at all the people we've worked with over the years. I mean, Ken Pavelka, Jim Rose, all the names.
What are you going to do with all the awards you have? Are they going to move
Put
to the
them up in
House
the
of
governor's
Lincoln?
mansion. As soon as I move in there.
Well, hey, I'm happy for you. It is well deserved, and now you can sleep in, and you can be. I will tell you, for people that maybe don't know, the thing that brings the most joy to Neil's face is one, young broadcasters that get into the business and they work their way up, and his grandchildren. So you've done it well, and I appreciate it, my friend.
There are so many people that I really owe so much to, and you three guys, what you've done here in the morning, bringing Nick back, I wouldn't leave unless this place was in good hands, and it is. And I'm really going to be looking forward. I listen every morning, and I'm going to continue to listen every morning. And when I hear something I don't like, I'll get on the phone.
I know you. I know you will. I know you will. Hey, thank you, Neil.
Thank you, guys.
Congrats, Neil.
It's Neil Nelkin, the godfather of radio in the state of Nebraska. Today is his last day. Believe it or not. 3 different times we coaxed him back out of retirement. Neil was in the hospital, and they're like, you know what? This is a great opportunity for you to retire. He's like, no, I'll be there tomorrow. And you know what? He was. So when he made that announcement a couple of weeks ago, I think all of us went, yep, you deserve it. So congratulations to Neil, who his fingerprints are all over 1620 The Zone. He was the one that birthed this station, and from afar has kept a watchful eye as we've gone through different program directors since Neil was here. So today is his last day. Now he goes back over to News Talk 1290 Coil, and I'm not sure what he does over there. I think he just sits in there.
He can do whatever he wants.
He makes sure it's running smoothly, and he's not going to cut out early today.
Yeah. Well,
you have 2 beer Friday.
He is a legend, and he has been great to this radio station. All of you have been great through the entire year. We've had a lot of changes actually here in the mornings in 2022, and we're looking forward to an exciting 2023. We, like the rest of the shows from 6A to 6P, we're all off next week. We're back on Tuesday morning, January 3rd. We'll be in at 6. So we welcome Nick. We welcome Jimmy, new additions here in 2022. And we're looking forward to 2023 with some exciting things right out of the box at 6 a.m. on that Tuesday. So
For Jimmy, for Nick, I'm Gary. Make memories. Have a wonderful Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Spend time with your family or your loved ones. A happy New Year. Enjoy your time away and come back with us. We'll be back on Tuesday morning, January 3rd, right here on 1620 The Zone.